What's happening, everybody? Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Dirt and Sprague here. 6:02 in the Rose City. Hope your days are off to a good start. No Sprague today, just Dirt, and I got BYU Brandon with me. Hanging out.
What is happening? How'd I do?
That was solid, dude. That was solid. That's always the weird thing when you have to, when Sprague's gone and I'm here by myself. And, do I take his opening? Do I do my opening? The opening of the show is 6:02 in the Rose City, but I don't say it. So now I feel like I'm stealing somebody else's opening line. So I stole his, you stole mine. Look at that.
I've always wanted to do that since I've been over here.
You've wanted to do it, what is happening?
Yeah, always wanted to do it. Because I feel the same way when me and Brandon did it a couple weeks ago. I was like, do I do Dirt's little thing? Do I don't?
I think you need to.
Stay quiet. Yeah, so I was happy to fill in for that spot.
I think the people want a what is happening to start their day. I think they need it, right? It's a Thursday, We got a lot to get to on the show today, and God, what a day in sports yesterday. We had big trades go down. Team USA won. Lots to digest, but little thin roads on the way in today. I don't know if did you see the same thing? Little dead out there this morning.
My roads are always thin at 4:30 in the morning. So
right when you're on your way, it doesn't matter.
You see more traffic than I do, but yeah, I mean it's been pretty barren out there.
Everybody's getting ready for the 4th of July. Do we have any big 4th of July plans this weekend in the Brandon household?
Not really.
No, nothing big going on. We just barbecuing. Anything?
I'm trying to think what we're even doing.
Will we or will we not see fireworks on Saturday?
Yeah,
definitely going to see fireworks.
Okay. I know in my neighborhood they do like a little block party out in it's not a cul-de-sac, but it's like a corner that basically becomes a cul-de-sac in a sense.
Yeah.
So they'll have their fireworks and they just shoot them off. So we'll go hang out there. We'll get together with family, do some just a good old barbecue, maybe a parade or something.
Ooh, a good parade on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I know we used to go to the Oak Hills Parade or Hillsborough Parade.
Sure.
Not sure if we're doing that this year, but yeah, something's going to happen. When you have children, especially at 4 and 2, you got to go do something. So we'll find something to do.
So your kiddos are 4 and 2.
Yep.
How into? Because this is something I've been curious of this will be the first 4th of July Teddy Ballgame's going to see fireworks. I don't think he saw any last. I mean, maybe in passing, like walking through, but you're like 1.5. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what.
Right.
But this is the first year where I think he would at least look at it and have some awareness of like, oh, that's cool. There's lights. Things exploding in the sky. So I'm excited for that. Are your kids into fireworks?
I think they've gotten used to it. I remember when my son Roman was like 2. Like 1 or 2, like it would be like a kind of hit or miss. Like he'd be cool with it for maybe the first 5 minutes, and then he'll be like, "Okay, I'm done." And then that one looked cool though. I'm back in.
That was a fun one. That one exploded.
Yeah, so it depends because he's not big on loud noises. He's very sensitive. To that. And I don't know about my daughter yet. She's kind of just still trying to figure out loud noises. So we'll see. It's a bit of a wild card.
It's kind of like, it reminds me of when I got my dog, he was the same way. Like the first couple of 4th of Julys, there was no issue at all. And then there was a year where they were on a walk or something, and somebody lit one off like close to where he was walking. And now it's like, dude, every 4th of July is just miserable with him. Like he is, we got to drug him out of his gourd just to get him to like not freak out and run around and go like jump, like break a door to get into a closet. Like, dude, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. There's no fireworks in the house, I promise. So you never know quite how it's gonna go. I do have before because I do want to talk more about the 4th of July, but your 4 and 2 has made me think. I need a little bit of help here. Okay. I need a little life advice right now. We're going through it right now. Teddy Ballgame's about 2.5, and we are going through. And this, I mean, it happens in waves and phases, right? Dude, the last, I want to say 2 weeks has been a brutal sleep regression. Just out of nowhere. I can't even remember the last time he slept through the entire night, which sometimes you would get. Like, you get into one of those good grooves, and you get like 4 or 5 nights in a row, and you feel like you got everything figured out. Yep. Like, oh, dude, we're living large, man. We're going to sleep. Put your guard down, like, waking up at 7 a.m.
Start staying up a little later, like, oh, we're good.
Got more time on my hands for activities. Don't need to go to bed right away. And then one of these comes crashing down. So about 2.5. I am kind of at a loss for what to do. Do you have any parenting advice? Now, I know with the 2-year-old, you're probably going through it as well. Hopefully the 4-year-old's sleeping a little bit better.
He is. He just needs help getting to sleep.
Yeah. So, like, at the start of the night, it's a longer process, but once he's down.
My wife has to basically go to bed with him, and then she'll take a mini nap. at 10 o'clock at night, and then and then I have to go get her.
You gotta like go wake her up. Like,
yeah, right.
Hey, let's go climb into bed.
Let's go in a real bed.
You're gonna be really if you wake up here in the morning, you're gonna be really uncomfortable. There's gonna be parts of your body that are sore that you didn't realize would be sore. So what is the? Do we have any? Is it just grit your teeth and battle through it? Do we have 2.5-year-old sleep regression advice? Because I'm not kidding, man. It is like last night. I don't think we put him down at like 8, and we try to do bedtime a little bit earlier than that, but it never goes according to plan, obviously. One more this, one more that, 5 more minutes, and you're like, all right, you relent a little bit. So maybe that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And then I'm not kidding you, dude. It was like 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, just like refusing. And then up maybe at 1, up maybe at 4. Oh, no. It was one of those 4 o'clock wake ups. It's like, we're just up now. We ain't going back to sleep now. It's over. We're just going to be up for the rest of the day. Let's go drink a cup of coffee and see if we can get our day going.
Right.
Do we have any feedback for 2.5-year-old sleep regression? Do we have any advice out there?
I don't know if I can give you any sound advice. That's just the way of the beast for 2-year-olds.
It's just the life.
My daughter's kind of the same. Like especially the worst thing is when they take a nap that you're not planning for.
Yeah.
So if they go out, like yesterday, they went out to a park with all their cousins. It was one of their cousins' birthdays. And then on the drive home, they both fell asleep. So I come out of my nap yesterday to see my son on the couch asleep and my daughter basically just out of her nap eating some watermelon. I'm like, oh, this night's not going to go very well.
This is not going to be
good.
So
sure enough, at like 8 o'clock, we're trying to put down the daughter. Her name's Jane. And she wants no part of going to bed.
It's not bedtime.
Stand up in a crib, do some jumps, just like get me out of here type of scenario. So eventually, probably an hour later, then she finally is like, okay, I give up and goes to sleep. But and then she'll wake up again at maybe midnight crying or something.
Right, needing something.
Yeah, go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
We're done with you.
There's nothing wrong, okay? You're fine. I'm right here. I'm right outside the door. I'm not going anywhere, man. Just like I happened last time when I walked in here. I'm going to tell you the same thing. I'm right here. You're okay.
We're all on the same page. We're all trying to go to sleep.
I'm going to see you in like 5 hours. We're going to play. I promise. All day tomorrow. You're going to see me. You're going to wake up. I'm going to come home from work. It'll be a great day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. I mean, I know every kid is different, and everybody has like, people will give strategies of things, and then you try certain things with your kids, and you're like, well, that didn't work with my kids, so thanks for that non-helpful advice. I just, you kind of lash out when you're going through it with a 2.5-year-old. I'm going to try today. One of my thoughts was we're going to go from crib to toddler bed.
Okay.
And then I read online that that's maybe one of the worst things that you can do. Because I'm like, maybe he just wants to get out of bed and come see us tonight, and then we'll go back to, like, I'm okay with that. You come walk in, say hi, and then, I've even tried, I desperately I would kill if he would just sleep in our bed. And I know that's probably a faux pas that you don't want to do, but I'm that desperate for like a full night of sleep,
right?
And he won't do it. We put him down in bed, and it's like maybe 15 minutes, and then he wakes up, and it's like playtime. He wants to play hide and seek under the sheets. He boops your nose. He goes 1, 2, 3, wake up, and you're like, dude, no, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. No, we're not waking up right now. So I'm not going to do the toddler bed thing. I might try an earlier nap and a shorter nap today. I don't know if that's going to be helpful at all. But that's kind of my next step of like, maybe we move up nap time a little bit so it's not napping later in the day, and then we cut it off after like, I don't know, an hour. But you're so spot on. When you get the impromptu fall asleep later on in the day, like after a nap window is already passed, and you get like a 5, or even if it's 5 minutes, doesn't have to be a long time.
No, yeah.
The whole night is thrown, like your entire evening, you're just like, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. No, don't wake up. Whenever we're driving home from somewhere later on in the day, like you go have dinner somewhere, whether you're over at in-laws house or whatever, you're driving home, you're just screaming to keep them awake in the car seat in the back of no. Hey,
no.
Hey, look out the window. Roll the window down. Roll window down. Roll back up. Roll back up. Yeah. What's the song that I can get?
You want a song off?
What music do you want? What do you want to hear right now? I'll turn it up as loud as you want to, buddy. Let's Baby Beluga.
I've always wanted to, like, if I had like a water ball, just splash some water in the bag.
Do some of those.
Oh, good. You're awake. Great.
All right, wake up.
No, back to sleep.
Back to sleep. Nope. Damn it. Wake up. Well, that's what we're dealing with right now. A couple of guys who have 2-year-olds who are not sleeping. So, I will say this. I am excited for the 4-day weekend. It's a bit of a Thursday, Friday.
TGIT.
TGIT. I love a good TGIT. Sprague had a TGIW yesterday. There's nothing wrong with the TGI dub. We got our TGITs today. So it will be we're all off tomorrow, obviously, for the 4th of July holiday. So we will not be in tomorrow. Last show of the week. I am very excited about the 4th of July because I have always been Big fan, right? Not just a United States thing, although 250, big deal, right? We made it all the way. How about us?
Yeah.
You know, quarter of the way to 1,000. Look at us, man. We're making some moves. I think if I were to power rank holidays, like if I were going to give a top 5, this might be controversial to some. Christmas always probably has to be number one. Like
always.
just especially now with kids, like it just takes on a different meaning.
Yep.
The excitement level, like one of the things we did last night, laying in bed trying to get him to sleep. I'm pretty sure "Here Comes Santa Claus" was sung, and he wanted to sing about that. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna fight it. That's fine. So like Christmas will always be number one on the big board. I might go out on a limb and say the 4th of July is my second favorite holiday of the year. I think it might be number 2 on my big board. Thanksgiving is great for the football and the family and the food and the time off. Like, you know, I get it. Although I'm not the biggest Thanksgiving food guy, but I love Thanksgiving. It's just so closely connected with Christmas that you're almost like, by the time Thanksgiving comes, I'm almost excited that
Christmas
it's over,
mode.
and you're like, I'm just ready to start. Can I go get my Christmas tree
Yeah.
now? Like you're pushing past it. So I might actually put Halloween ahead of Thanksgiving, maybe number 3, because it's kind of the start of that run of holidays, and you're getting into the fall, the thick of football season. Kids again get super into it. Number 5 would be tough. So I think I would go Christmas 1, 4th of July 2, Halloween 3, Thanksgiving 4. Five gets tricky. Five, because there's a handful of them you can choose from. Labor Day is always solid. College football starts. I always look forward to Labor Day, although it's not like a big vacation holiday. And then you got Juneteenth's got to get thrown in there because it's a 3-day weekend in the middle of the summer now. I'm not saying no that. There's a difference having like a 3-day weekend in June when you could go do stuff in like a holiday randomly off in like March and it's pouring down rain.
Right.
So it's a little more enjoyable to have that day off in June. I think I'll land on Labor Day though. I think that's my definitive top 5. I'm going to go Christmas, 4th of July, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Labor Day, top 5 holidays.
I like it. I like it. I might.
Who am I overrating or underrating?
I don't think you're overrating anything. I think your logic is sound. I'd still like Christmas number 1. 4th of July, I think there's a lot, kind of like we said about Juneteenth. There's a lot to do during 4th of July.
Yes, there's all that bonus day.
Trying to be a good American.
Right. It's also nice to have like the collective of like basically everybody's doing like we're all checked out and ready for a 3-day, 4-day weekend depending on how many days. Like everybody seems to be in the same boat on that one.
Yeah, I got you there. I like Halloween at 3, and I know my kids love Halloween. So and my wife, they're big on Halloween. I'm not as much, but the fact that they get to go do stuff. Usually, I'm busy with sports stuff, so I never have Halloween. Basically, doesn't exist for me. At least
that
for
time
the
of year is
decade.
tough, man. It is tough if you're working in the sport. That's the other thing about Thanksgiving and Halloween that it's like you're in the thick of stuff.
Yep.
If you're working in sports media or whatever, radio or TV, like that's your sweet spot. Now, were you a Halloween kid when you were a kid, or did you were never really into it?
A little bit. I was just all in for the candy.
Yeah, I mean, who's not?
Like costumes? I'm not too big on. Like I just basically would throw a jersey on and call it a costume and call it good.
I'm about the same way.
Yeah, so not. I know people really get into it, and I'm impressed with the costumes that people come up with and stuff.
The creativity,
it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm excited for the 4th of July. Halloween, solid. I think that's a good top 5 right there. I think that's a good top 5. We do have some thoughts coming in on.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody. I do appreciate the feedback because I want to genuinely know, like, if there's because every kid's going to be different, right? So if something works for your kid's not going to work for that's not a universal thing. Somebody said we stopped naps altogether, very short naps. They were tyrants for a week while adjusting. After a week or two, they were sleeping through the night from 8:30 to 6. Like, I would take that. 6 o'clock's early on the weekend. Like I'd like to get a little, I'm not gonna be too baggy here. If you give me 8:30 to 6 every night, 8:30 to 6 would be delightful, dude.
Right.
I can't wait for that. Somebody said a lot of time they can't sleep well. It's because they're growing a bunch. I'd suggest lots of physical activity during the day. Get them good and tired. Do a nice warm bath before bed. Help his body relax. I feel like we're doing both.
That works, but again, don't overtire them to the point. At least make sure that the drive home is short. Because again, if you're at a 20, 30-minute drive home, they will crash before they get home.
Yes.
And then you're in trouble.
Yes. We watch our 5-year-old granddaughter. This one came in at the fan text line, 503-864-6326. Whatever you want to throw in. I'm open ears right now for advice. We watch our 5-year-old granddaughter. Here's the secret. Have them run around and play like it's the last day of playing. Then when they're tired, have them chase your pup around. Feed them a Thanksgiving-ish, a.k.a. big meal, and they'll pass out in their food. All right. I feel like the running around and playing time we're not lacking that. Like, it's a lot outdoor, especially this time of year. It's a little more challenging when it's like colder and darker December and it's, like 4:30 and it's dark out, a la Thanksgiving time or Halloween time. But now we're outside all the way till like 7:30 at night. Like it's nonstop. It doesn't stop moving. So I don't know how much more active we could possibly get. Right. I am going to try the nap one though. I like that. The Halloween ranking, people are upset New Year's and Easter and St. Patrick's Day aren't on there. I personally think New Year's is a pretty overrated holiday. I've never been a big New Year's Eve guy. It's always this big build-up. It's kind of like prom night, right? Like that old, say, like, oh, here we goes prom night. And then you get through prom night and you're like, that was it? That was all prom night was? Like New Year's, sure, it's, people like, if you like going out and you like making a night on the town,
right.
I get why you like New Year's. That's just never been my cup of tea. So I'm not super high on New Year's. Also, again, to the Thanksgiving point, it's in the same week as Christmas. Like it's the secondary holiday in its own pocket.
Christmas is kind of bleeded into November 1st.
Yes.
To the end of the year.
I mean, I bet
that's how Christmas has developed over the last 2 decades.
How far away are we from going into a Costco and seeing Christmas trees up? Because I guarantee you we're not that far away.
Probably in 2 weeks.
I haven't been to a Costco recently, but I'd be willing to guess we got some Halloween stuff up in Costco.
Oh,
I bet if you're walking,
that was 2 months ago.
There's some skeletons or some giant pumpkins, and you're thinking to yourself, well, it's a good deal. Kind of looks good. St. Patrick's Day was great in college. After college, if you want me to be in your top 5 of holidays, there has to be a component of a day off of work, like a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Like Easter. I love it. We do brunches every Easter. Easter's, a delightful holiday, right? It's the start of spring. Sometimes you get good weather. I'm pro Easter. I got no beef with Easter. There's not a day off associated with it. It's just a Sunday. And then I get the Sunday scaries at 2:00 and I got to go back to work the next day.
Right.
So I need, St. Patrick's Day and Easter, again, they're fine, but there's not a day off. Now you can throw Halloween in my face because there's not a day off with Halloween. But Halloween is one of those, like, collective community things. Like, we'll get to the World Cup today. It's been a lot of fun to watch USA. That's where we're going to start here in a couple of minutes. Because, man, that game was awesome last night. And here we go. Like, all right, that's exactly what they needed to do. And the drama was there and all of that. There's this, like, collective coming together and rooting for USA that's been a lot of fun to watch, right? Like, there's not many things that unify our country. I get that. That's one of the reasons 4th of July and Halloween are solid. And maybe it's just because of the neighborhood I live in. But it does kind of seem like a vibe of like the whole neighborhood just shuts down and everybody's out barbecuing and everybody's out, back in the day, lighting fireworks off in their driveway. Well, I'm curious to see how prevalent it is this year because fireworks are technically illegal. But like in Halloween's the same way. Like in our neighborhood on Halloween, there's multiple blocks around our house that they just shut the entire street down and people put tents up in the middle of the street and it's like a big cookout. It's like, this is awesome, dude. Everybody's doing the same thing. So 4th of July is kind of that way for me of like everybody's in on it in the neighborhood. And some of the other holidays like Easter, you're kind of off doing your own thing. You go to your church, you go to your brunch, you go to your family get together or whatever. But those ones are more communal holidays and I enjoy that, man. I enjoy the collective get together. Excited for it this weekend.
Yeah. I would sneak in maybe Father's Day, but that also kind of goes with your Sunday deal. But
Father's Day's a good one.
You don't do a lot on Sunday.
That is very true.
You choose what you want to do on Sunday.
I got to admit.
On that day, on Father's Day.
I got to admit. You threw a curveball at me there. I wasn't even thinking about Father's Day. That might have to get that. I might have to bump Labor Day for Father's Day. I think it might have to crack the top 5. I think I'm adjusting my top 5 right now.
Awesome day.
Having a day where you could actually be like, I'm just going to do what I want to do.
I can do what I do.
Is pretty solid.
Pick what dinner is. I get to watch the U.S. Open.
Right.
It's a pretty solid day.
I think you've changed my mind. I'm sorry, Labor Day. All right. See you later, dude. I usually have to work on Labor Day anyways. We have to come in and do shows. Get out of here, Labor Day.
Another non-existent holiday for sports people.
Right. That's way too big of a time of year, man. That's the start of football season. Well, that's my definitive top 5. Father's Day is a great addition. I'm throwing that one in there. Any more feedback on getting 2.5-year-olds to sleep would be greatly appreciated. And hopefully we get a weekend of sleep. Pray for us, all right? Anybody out there with a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, Godspeed to you and your 4th of July plans, and hopefully it's not ruined by a kid who won't sleep. Lots to get to on the show on a Thursday. Boy, oh boy, do we got a lot to jam in here. Last show of the week for us. So here we go. Jalen Brown was traded yesterday. Not to us.
Finally.
Not
to us, but
that
finally.
Saga is over. What is Boston doing? Philly, that looks pretty good. So we'll talk about that, the Jaylen Brown trade. Will Portland regret not jumping in there? Tyson Aldridge, good buddy. He's always my go-to when Sprague's out. He was at the Savannah Banana Games last weekend at Autzen. He was at the last USA World Cup game in Seattle against Australia, which is where they will play Monday night. So we'll get his thoughts on that and then probably throw some Duck-related questions at him. Let's start, though, with, We're all in on it, right? Here we go. USA wins last night, first time since '02. They win a game in the knockout round. The audio of it, the vibes of it. Let's dive into it. Did you watch? Did you enjoy it? 503-864-6326. Off and running on a Thursday. Thanks for being with us, Dirt and Sprague. 105.1 FM, The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop, a great spot for any occasion. And don't forget, you save 10% on your Butcher Shop order when you dine in. Menus and more at laurelhurstmarket.com. First on the Fan, the United States won a World Cup knockout round match for the first time since 2002. They beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0. Florian Balogun scored the first goal in the 45th minute, but then saw a red card in the 64th minute, so the U.S. had to play with 10 men for the last 30-plus minutes of the match. Malik Tillman put in a second goal in the 82nd minute to put the game away. The U.S. will now play Belgium on Monday night. In the NBA, the Celtics have agreed to trade Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George, 2 first-round picks, and 2 second-round picks. So Philadelphia winning the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes to get the former Finals MVP. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Well, you got the fever. Certainly felt it last night, man. What a scene. What an atmosphere. Half of us don't know squat about soccer or football. But it doesn't matter, man. That was a lot of fun. USA playing Bosnia last night. And we talked about it a lot on the show yesterday for obvious reasons. What a moment it was for them. Team USA has not won a knockout round game since 2002. 2002. What were you doing in 2002? I'm trying to think. How old was I in 2002?
2002, I was 12.
12, yeah. I think I was 13.
So puberty was happening.
Yeah.
Last time the U.S. won it.
What grade are you in when you're was probably 7th grade?
That's
maybe?
like 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade.
Somewhere in that middle of middle school age where you don't know who you are and everything's, confusing and well, it was a long time ago, and that's how long it's been. First one since 2002, and the atmosphere is definitely worth talking about. I got a lot of the audio that I want to play. Country Roads becoming the winning song has been awesome. Let's get to, though, and you know more about soccer than I do, but I'm going to try and lend my expertise opinion here, okay, as my newfound soccer fandom watching this game last night.
Right.
Can anybody explain that red card to me? Can look, that was gnarly. Balogun steps on the back of his ankle, Achilles, whatever. It was like, that was gnarly. I get it. Like, a lot of times we make fun of soccer players for falling down and screaming bloody murder when nothing really happened. That was one, like, dude, roll around as long as you need to. That looked like it hurt like hell. No issue with that. I'm texting everybody in my life who I know watches soccer religiously. I'm like firing texts off to Patrick. Like, how is this? And my understanding of it is that intent is supposed to be part of it. So I'm going to compare this to something that I understand and I follow closely. This, to me, is targeting in college football.
Yes.
Like when you watch somebody randomly have helmet-to-helmet contact because it's just the way the football play developed, tossing them out of the game is ludicrous, and it makes no sense, and it doesn't serve any purpose because there's nothing either person could have done there to get there. Like, it's just, you're running at full speed. It's going to happen from time to time. And then you see the play where the guy comes in and lowers his head and spears a guy in the face mask on purpose, and you're like, get him out of the game. That should be ejection worthy. Like, if you're stepping on the back of somebody's leg with purpose, by all means, toss him out of the game. I'm watching that. I don't understand how in any way they come to the decision of a red card. And I also didn't realize in real time, because I'm watching, I didn't have the audio fully up. We're running around, chasing the kid around. I think my wife was the one that let me know something happened. Like, ooh, somebody's down. There might be a red card. I'm like, huh, what's going on? I pop back into the living room. And now he's out for the Belgium game. Mm-hmm. He can't play in the next round. And so a guy who had a goal overturned early in the game has been, probably your best player, at least in the conversation. Your best scorer, at least at this point in the tournament. Now in the round of 16, you don't have him. Can we explain the red card, or am I in the right here?
No, I I took to Twitter and I said VAR stands for very atrocious review. I mean, it's a freak play. It's just two guys going for the ball, and he just happens to step on his ankle. Like, I'm sorry, the dude has big feet. Like, I don't know what to.
Right.
I don't know how to control that. And then the point that they keep slowing it down when they're reviewing it, I'm like, no, that totally makes it look intent at that point.
Yes, by that point.
So they just changed the narrative on it so quickly when it just looked like just a freak collision, which happens in soccer frequently.
Yes.
To the point where there was a Bosnia guy later that literally did a full-on screen on one of our players. I hated it. I hated it from the get-go, and I knew just from the way that the announcers were saying, it's just like, oh, this is going to go to a red card. Like,
yeah,
it was just inevitable. And so when we were at the peak of our high, everything was good.
It's 1-0. We're rolling. We're dominating possession time.
We are controlling the game.
Yes.
For that to happen, all the anxiety from minute 0 comes back, and now you're like, oh crap, well now we're going to suffer for the next 20 minutes
right,
praying that they don't tie this game, because then they were bringing up all Bosnia came back against Italy with this situation.
Right.
I'm just like, quit scripting this for us. Please change the narrative. Thank you, Malik Tillman.
Dude, that was awesome.
That
I think to that point though, man, because I had the same thought of like, there's 30 minutes left in the game, and you got to play a man down the rest of the time. Mm-hmm. That's a long ass time to be out there playing 11 on 10. When it's one thing if you're up 3-0, right? You can just kind of go into cruise control and just play defense and you're fine.
Right.
One goal, all of a sudden you find yourself in a shootout potentially.
Yep.
And then you get the other goal. Pulisic scores on the other side, and then they overturn that one as well. So you thought, all right, there's your 2-0 lead. And then that one's wiped off. That one was a little more obvious, I thought, than the first one. So you have 2 goals waved off. So it's still 1-0. I think that part of everything that went into it, like, it sucks that he's going to be out of the round of 16. Hopefully the United States can overcome that. Belgium certainly looks like a problem. I thought they were dead in the water yesterday, and they come storming back. Like, where did this come from? Senegal's going to win this game, and that didn't happen. So hopefully you can overcome it. But there was a part of it that almost made it more of a unifying win, if that makes sense, of like, now our backs are back against the wall. We were the heavy favorite coming in. There's that uneasy feeling early in the game. They had a corner like 20 seconds into the game. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, here we go. It's going to be one of those nights. And, you end up taking the 1-0 lead. Then you overcome having a man down for 30 minutes. And Malik Tillman's goal felt like, now again, I'm new here, so welcome me into the pool. Hopefully the water's warm. I'm going to go out. Like, that felt like not only I'm just going to say it. That's the best goal in United States men's World Cup history, is it not?
Yes.
Like, just in terms of what it meant in the moment to win the game, to go up 2-0, and the way that he scored it had a vibe of, like, we belong here. Like, that was like an elite, something that you would see somebody from Portugal do.
Right.
And I don't feel like, again, new here, so correct me if I'm wrong, I don't feel like we've had guys like that in the past who score goals like that in World Cup, especially in a moment like that.
Yeah.
You get the free kick. All the stuff that was going on before that, too. Like, I ended up like, hey, Bosnia, good job, good effort. your coach grabbing the ball, yelling at the official.
How do you not red card that?
Get his ass out of there. He grabbed the ball and delayed play.
He's like 2-3 yards into the field. I'm just like, how?
Refusing to hand the ball over? What are we doing? After, by the way, look, some of the calls I'm sure go both ways, and they probably were right to be upset that some calls didn't go their way. The United States also had a guy thrown out of the game on a ludicrous red call. So we were already a man down because, in my opinion, of a bad call. And then on the other side of it, you're going to come out and complain and act like you've been wronged here. You got a man advantage for the rest of the game, and you're upset you didn't get a free kick somewhere around midfield because somebody bumped hips with somebody else. So all of that kind of led into it, and the Tillman goal ended up just making it one of the more memorable soccer games. There's not a lot in my history that I could say, oh yeah, I remember this USA game or that. Tim Howard's performance, obviously, like there's certain little moments or goals that stand out over the years, but without many deep runs in your history, that's one. Like, I don't know how much of the knock or the group stage stuff I'll remember. The first game I certainly will, because there was all that buzz and build up, and it's the first game in the U.S. Mm-hmm. They jump out 2-0 early. Like, that was a really fun one. That's one that will stand out to me of like, I'm going to remember a Malik Tillman goal 5 years from now and how sick that was, or 3 years from now, I should say, because we'll have another World Cup by then. But that felt a little bit different, and the backs against the wall mentality kind of came out, and it was incredibly impressive, man. I don't care who you're playing, whether the best team or the worst team in the world, man down for 30 minutes with only a 1-0 lead on kind of a bogus call. That felt a little bit different last night, and now we get another game up in Seattle.
Yeah,
Monday night, right? Monday night, am I correct on that,
mm-hmm.
buddy? The scene in Seattle on Monday night is going to be Going to be pretty awesome. How are we feeling about the United States' chances without their best goal scorer to continue this run?
Well, it's going to be a next man up mentality. I feel like this roster is a lot deeper than in the past. So I feel like we've got dudes that can come in and perform.
Seems like it, yeah.
So I'm not too concerned, especially the way Belgium looked that first 85 minutes. Like, I'm not too concerned right now. I probably will be on Monday, but yes. as of today, right. Sitting on the high of yesterday,
right.
I like our chances. And I know the split. I think I saw the betting odds already. I think it's like 130 minus 130 for us, so it's going to be a tight game.
Okay, so we're a slight favorite, but
it's going to be a dogfight. So I do like our chances. I think we do have people that can perform and can fill in for that role. Yes, it's a bummer because he's our best scorer, and he's been so good and been such a threat to the defensive line that has kind of opened up openings for everybody else. So I think we have a chance. And we've already hit the bar. We've succeeded.
No doubt about it.
This World Cup has been a success.
No doubt about it.
As we stand right now.
No doubt about it.
Now we need to get greedy.
Yes.
And that comes with this next game. And I think we can pull it out.
The scene in Seattle for the Australia game was incredible. The crowd pop when they went up 2-0. And now you add these stakes into the mix of it and what that scene's going to look like. It's a powerful thing to have everybody behind you, and the atmosphere in Santa Clara was great last night. I'm with you. Like, this was, if I remember talking to Patrick before the World Cup kicked off of like, what is a realistic goal? And it was obviously getting out of your group. When you're hosting, you get a very favorable group. That would have been a disaster to not advance out of that. So they easily did that, right? You win your first two games. Okay, that bar is or that box is checked, and then you get a matchup in the first knockout game. It's like, that's one you should win. That would have been a devastating loss last night to have all this built up momentum and energy and excitement, and the country's kind of wrapped up into it to lose that game last night, which is why, to your point, we were kind of puckering when it's man down with 30 minutes to go. Here we go. And so they won that. I'm with you. Like, that's about what we could ask for. Now you get a round of 16 game. That's a winnable game. If you don't, I'm not going to, you're not going to kill them for it. They clearly have progressed. They've clearly gotten better and evolved after some really embarrassing international play over the last 10 years. Like, there was a clip going viral of like 2 years ago. I don't think he was on the dais last night. Maybe he was at the game, but Alexi Lawless doing a thing after the United States lost the game 2 years ago of like, this is embarrassing. Mm-hmm. We need to get better. Like, I can't remember what the game was or who they lost to or if it was a friendly or whatever the case. But it's just funny to think about that's where we were and now here we are, where it feels like for the first time there's actually been a little bit of progress and a little bit of catching up with everybody else. And so now you got house money, man. You win on Monday night and all of a sudden you find yourself in the final, the final 8,
you
right?
You are one of the 8 best teams in the country.
In the semifinals.
Or in the world, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a success right there.
That is a significant success. And then we see, which of those European powers, Spain, Portugal, Croatia, come out of that side.
Yeah.
But not looking ahead. Like, Belgium is we're on the Belgium. That's going to be.
We need to give it the Belichick.
It's going to be a dogfight. But again, with that home side behind them, and I think that's been such a big difference maker to have the World Cup here and to have that kind of home crowd advantage. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun game.
I think Seattle might set some noise records on Monday night. That's going to be badass. I want to play a little bit of audio on the other side. We joked yesterday about our goal calls in the opening of the show. Had a solid one last night. Also, the sound of the Tillman goal to give a 2-1 lead, and then also on the other side a little bit more World Cup, because some of the numbers that are trickling in, not even from last night's game, we haven't seen those quite yet. A little too early for that. There's another game that I want to point to that broke a record that I think is going to indicate how outrageous the number from last night's going to be. So how in are we as a country? I'll tell you how in we are. A little more World Cup next. 105.1 FM The Fan. Did you see the couple that climbed to the top of the Empire State Building yesterday?
I saw that. That was going to be a magic hat for me.
Oh, okay. We don't need to get into it then. We'll hold it. We'll hold it for 9.
But I did see that, yeah.
Dude, if I'm on like the 3rd floor of a hotel looking out a window, I'm like, that's a little high. I hate heights. Seeing those pictures?
Oh.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I'm glad they didn't show
Nope.
looking down. Like,
God.
no, thank you.
I had some social media content. We get to that more. It is a Magic Hat Thursday. Got some good submissions, some fun with audio, all that coming up at 9 a.m. Some thoughts coming in on the fight. One person said, where did this go on the YouTube chat? Dude, I know you're not a soccer guy. Stepping on the ankle is an automatic red card. Soccer shoes are not like normal shoes. They were way more dangerous when you get stepped on. I certainly understand that. A lot of the other thoughts that came in were basically like it was a horrible call. So there's always going to be two sides to it. I understand that. I felt like intent should be, and maybe it is and isn't in some cases. And there certainly are times when I'm seeing like offsides calls and I'm like, how is that? What? That didn't make any sense. So it's probably just like officiating in every other sport. It's an inaccurate science. You're going to get calls that make sense. Sometimes they don't make sense. But the sentiment that I mostly saw was that it was a bad call, although we are certainly biased in our opinion of that call because it's going to impact us on Monday night. I do have some ratings thoughts and a question that I thought was interesting that I think people will talk about as this tournament goes on. But before we do that, let's hear from Fox and Telemundo last night. So Malik Tillman is the hero. He's the name that we'll remember for a long time. Scores the goal to go up 2-0. The free kick from, was it inside the box? Just outside the box?
Just outside.
Just outside the box. I love, by the way, too, the broadcaster, I think it was Twellman, who said, man, the whole left side of the goal here is wide open.
And yeah, Stu Holden said that right before he kicked it. Yeah,
is that who it is? And it was like he's right. Yeah, there
it
is.
Tony Romo type of situation.
It absolutely was.
Right side open. That's a soccer player telling you
right.
That's where he should go.
And their goalie's like trying to line everybody up to block that side, and it just went right over their heads into the corner. A beautiful goal. Here's how it sounded on Fox.
Look at how Vassal's giving up the entire right side of his goal. Tillman!
John Strong, man. Go Ducks. Here's how it sounded on Telemundo. Now, I have not listened to the entire thing yet, so I'm curious, how long do we go on for?
La carrera de Tillman. Ahí va Tillman. Goal! Goal!
So much better.
It's so good.
Wait for it. I don't know how they do this.
Estados Unidos lo hizo Malik Tillman.
God, that is so good. The way his voice kind of breaks there at the end. He's out of gas. I can't keep going, man. God, that is fantastic. Yes, at the end, that absolutely needs to be a drop. That is so good. Is there a way now? Maybe I feel like they say it at the start of every broadcast. Is there a way? Do I have the Telemundo channel? Is that on YouTube TV? No offense to John Strong. John Strong is great. He's a local guy.
I believe it's on YouTube TV.
Can I find the broadcast? Can I click?
I feel like it's also part of Peacock, so that's you can probably grab that.
Okay.
Through Peacock, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's right, because they have the Spanish
umbrella
broadcast of the game.
So I think, I believe you're able to see that.
I want to experience. I'm not going to know anything he's saying because I don't remember anything about Spanish, and I probably should because I took like 15 years of it. But man, I want to, like, that needs, I always see those after the fact, and John Strong is great. There's just something different about multiple 30-second goals there, especially in that moment. You hear the crowd going crazy. That was awesome. We were curious yesterday on what the number was going to be. What did we settle on? Over 30 million, somewhere in that range is kind of what we were thinking.
Yeah.
I saw this. Let me pull it up in my notes here. There was one that blew me away. This was from, what night was the game? Hold on, let me find it. The Netherlands-Morocco game. Was that Tuesday night? Monday night or Tuesday night?
I'm going to believe it's Tuesday.
And it went to the PKs? I know it was earlier this week.
Yeah.
And it was the late game, by the way. So for us on the West Coast, I want to say that one ended around 8:45
Yeah,
Pacific.
that was a serious prime time.
So and then you get the later crowd on the East Coast. The Netherlands-Morocco game averaged, not peak, averaged on Fox 10.58 million viewers. That is the most watched non-U.S. Men's World Cup telecast in English language history, excluding a World Cup final. And so you're just getting a random Monday night or Tuesday night. Monday night, thank you. Monday night, Netherlands-Morocco game, averaging 11 million viewers. I think it just tells you how kind of wrapped up into all this we are, which we certainly are. And if you're going to get that 11 average for Netherlands-Morocco, which kicked off a little bit later on.
I want to say that is partially credit to the 3 games before it.
Yes, it was such a good day.
The first
good
4
point.
matches of this round of 32 were probably some of the greatest stretch of soccer we've seen in a while.
And then yesterday, 2 days ago, it was a bit of a dud. You had some kind of lopsided games where it wasn't a lot. And then yesterday totally made up for it.
Sure.
Because the England game was great first out of the gate, right? Harry Kane scores multiple goals. I didn't send it to you, but I meant to, and then I forgot. But the wonder wall at the end of the game and their crowds all singing it and get into it, like that scene was awesome. So that, like, to have a big name player that even I know have a moment like that in the World Cup for England, who's always seemingly, according to Patrick Harris, disappointing in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big deal. You get the Belgium game where they're down 2-0 the entire time, and they score goals at the end and come back, and oh my God, they won the game. And then U.S. with the man down with the last 30 minutes, and ended up being super compelling. And so that's a good point. Like, it's all of the games for the most part. There was that one day, what was it, like, France kicked the crap out of Sweden. And you're like, all right, that game kind of sucked. So there's a couple duds in there. It's got the Mexico game, Ecuador
rolled. Yep.
was a little bit, but other than that, man, all the other knockout games have been great. We'll see if we get more of it today. I might hold this for later on in the show. By the way, I appreciate P1 Harley saying he's going to boycott waffle shops all weekend.
Yeah.
Hold firm, baby.
No Belgian waffles.
We got another one, also Belgian chocolate, too. That's right, Belgian chocolate, okay? You take that chocolate and shove it. But it's a question about, like, what would this... And I do think it's a fascinating topic because I go through this a lot. I'm a diehard hockey fan. I love hockey. I've always loved hockey. And when the United States went on their run, and that's different because they've been close to winning gold medals. It's not like they've always disappointed. They've been in gold medal games before. They just hadn't won a gold medal since, obviously, the Miracle on Ice. It was different because there was a little bit more hope going into it. But we have this conversation every 4 years or so when the Winter Olympics come around. And it's like, man, is there going to be an offshoot of this? Is there going to be an increase in attention? Is there going to be, because the numbers are big. And the gold medal game for USA Canada back in February, the peak audience was roughly 26 million. And if you remember, that's in Milan. And so the game, I want to say, started at 5 a.m. Pacific. It was early on the West Coast. And so you're going to get it's a little bit different. You'll get more viewers here. Just a question of what does this mean for soccer? Like, do we genuinely believe that this leads to an uptick in interest in the sport? It's always so tough because the Olympics or the World Cup are such outliers of country unity that it's hard to kind of, I don't know, it's hard to put your hands around exactly what it means for the future of the sport and the interest in the sport. There's no doubt that in terms of United States soccer, I think we are now all in as a country and hopeful and will be so again in 4 years at the next World Cup, no matter how far this run goes. But the question of, like, is there a ripple down effect or a trickle down effect, I should say, of other leagues benefiting from it is a fascinating one because I don't know if that will happen to soccer, but it's certainly with the number of people watching and the attention they're getting, there's going to be some hope there, I'm sure, from soccer leagues of, like, can we get some of these viewers and some of these dollars? Because we're all in on this right now, man.
Yeah. I think that's always the question when these smaller sports get a moment like this of can it roll over into the professional leagues that we have here. And MLS is different because MLS, I feel like, is just a select audience.
Yeah.
It's not exactly like a nationally well-known or respected league.
Right.
So
it's not a Champions League. It's not a Premier League. It's not
because NHL is up there. NHL's with the big four.
It's the best
so
league.
That was kind of a different scenario. And then they had a little spike in audience after the U.S. did their thing in the Olympics. But for soccer, I think soccer, as far as like watching maybe Premier League and watching, Champions League, those type of events, those get viewers. I'm not so sure about MLS. I think we'd have to wait and see. Yes, we have Lionel Messi in the MLS, and that will probably get a lot of views going forward. But if you're talking like watching Timbers games, maybe.
Yeah, there's a trickle down to that where it's like, now I'm going to go watch a soccer, because it's again, the hockey comp's tough too because all those guys played in the NHL. And so when you're done, you're like, oh, there's Jack Hughes playing for it, right?
Right.
You could go player by player and there's a game of them on. Whereas soccer is so complicated because there's so many leagues all over the world. Like I'd be curious to look at the United States roster and pinpoint exactly. Like I'm sure there's guys playing in Spain, there's guys playing in Italy, there's guys playing in England, there's guys playing in the MLS, there's guys it's all over the world, and so it's not one league that it kind of funnels into. I find it an interesting topic because there certainly is a fever of soccer going on right now. Like there certainly is momentum, and I think I think that number from last night's game is going to be massive. The Monday night game, like you're going in through the 4th of July weekend with all this national pride build up, and then you get a USA game on Monday night. Like, dude, that's going to be huge. And so does it trickle down? I don't know. We can talk a little bit more about that later. I do want to get back into the World Cup because there's some other really fun games coming up this weekend. We're going to be off tomorrow, so it's our last show of the week. And so some of the games from this weekend I want to talk about, including the Mexico one on Sunday night. How great is that going to be?
That's going to be a game.
Talk about a game to watch in Telemundo. People are saying you can find on YouTube TV. It's just an option there, so I'm doing that on Sunday. It's going to be great. And people saying Suk did a 20-second goal last night on the show.
Oh, he did?
He got to 20 seconds.
That's pretty good.
Let me warm up my pipes a little bit. Maybe we'll try it in the final hour of the show today. Maybe we'll throw that in the mail sack at like 9:20 or something. I don't know if I got the lung capacity quite yet. It's early in the day. We still have a lot to get to. Fun watching the USA win last night. Suck it, Bosnia. See you later. Let's start the second hour, I should say. Jaylen Brown got traded. It was not to Portland. According to Jason Quick on our show, we were not involved in the conversations. Are we going to regret it? And what is Boston do? Am I taking crazy pills? We'll start the second hour next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the United States men's team won a World Cup knockout match for the first time since 2002. They beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0 despite being down to 10 men for the final 36 minutes of the match. Valerian Balogun, who scored the opening goal in the 45th minute, was sent off with a red card in the second half. Malik Tillman was the hero with a goal off a free kick in the 82nd minute to seal the win. Next up for the U.S., Belgium on Monday night. The Belgians made a miraculous comeback against Senegal, scoring 2 goals in 3 minutes to force extra time, then won the match 3-2. Also, England is through to the round of 16. They rallied behind 2 goals from Harry Kane to escape DR Congo 2-1. In the NBA, the 76ers won the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes. Philly traded Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks to Boston for the former Finals MVP. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 2. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody.
God bless the beaver.
Got a lot still to get to on the show today. We'll have some more on the World Cup, don't you worry. We'll talk about it more. I will not be here Monday, so I will... Monday night, right, is USA game, Monday evening, so I won't be here on the day of the match, but I'll be here Tuesday to talk about it if they do beat Belgium. Sprague will be back on Monday.
And Swag.
Swag is back on Monday?
Yeah.
Is he really?
On Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You're going to be back on Tuesday.
I'm going to be got it. Okay.
And Sprague.
He's finally back from
family
his
reunion will be back on Tuesday.
You get to sleep in again. Are you excited?
I'm so excited to sleep in tomorrow. forget Tuesday and through the rest of the summer.
It's like I made a comment.
Tomorrow.
Dude, I made a comment yesterday and said, listeners like, oh, Dirt talks sports for 4 hours. He's complaining. It's like, I love my job, dude. I love doing this. I pinch myself every day that I get to do this for a living, and they actually pay me to do it, and they haven't fired me yet. I am blessed beyond imagination for that.
Amen.
Waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning blows.
No.
Every day. It's
being a zombie for the back half of the day. Right.
Especially when you got a 2-year-old who is not currently sleeping through the
with
night.
Children on top of that.
Right?
So your wife's just staring you down like you better do something. You better get off that bed.
Exactly. You get that look in the middle of the night. Do you want to go take this one? And I'm like, it's 2
Excuse
o'clock.
you.
I got to wake up in like an hour. Can I? No. All right, fine. All right, now I'm up. All right. Oh, you get out of bed, toss the sheets over. Now I'm all flustered. I'm not going back to sleep. I love my job, but yeah, that is the thing. Like Sprague, I was giving Sprague a hard time yesterday because it was his Wednesday, Friday, and he thinks it's like a mentality of like you don't care about the show or you're checked out. That's not the case. It's more of the mental side for me of like, dude, when I get through this, then I don't have to go to bed at 8 o'clock tonight, and I'm going to wake up whenever I wake up tomorrow.
Right.
That's the freeing feeling of a vacation. It's not that you mail something in. It's like, dude, I don't have to set an alarm clock tonight, and I can't tell you how happy that makes me feel. So good. I am glad you only have a couple more early wake ups. One more, right? Monday will be the last one.
Monday will be the last one.
Knowing Swag, he'll be off for like
I'm
a
sure
week
Swag
and,
will find another day or
he'll
two.
go to like Pilots Media Day for a month, and he's going to go move out to the Hillsborough ballpark. We'll see him again in August. So we got a lot to get to in this hour. Hello, everybody. Hope your Thursdays are great. Hopefully you're not working today and you're getting ready for the 4th of July. If you are working today, let's get through it, and we'll all go get ready to blow some stuff up on Saturday. America's 250 years old. Let's start the second hour with this. Jaylen Brown got traded. We've been waiting for Jaylen Brown to get traded. We didn't know where Jaylen Brown was going to get traded to, and then we found out yesterday. Now, notable earlier in the day, because if you missed it on the show yesterday, I'd recommend go listening to the interview and also reading his article that he told us about. Jason Quick was on the show yesterday, and he gave us a lot of good nuggies about the Blazers and where they're going and their thought process and the way they're building the roster. He teased the Mike Onori thing of, Mike Onori flying out to talk to Ja Morant, and so I want to get into some tidbits on that. But he gave us some intel that the Portland Trailblazers were not even ever realistically involved in Jaylen Brown. Outside of maybe a cursory call, an early call, Here is what Jason Quick had to say about the Blazers not going in on Jaylen Brown.
From what I've been told, that they were never high on him, never valued him as an asset to go for. And they asked for 4 first-rounders from Portland, and Portland was like, no, So I don't think it ever got close with Jaylen Brown.
So never got close. He said that yesterday. So any mental thought people had of like, oh, are the Blazers going to still be in on this? That certainly ended it for me. And then you get the announcement later on in the day that Jaylen Brown was indeed traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. Was it for 4 first-round picks? No, it was not. Was it for 3 first-round picks? No, it was not. I just want to remind people for a brief moment, Desmond Bane was traded for 5 first-round picks last year. Desmond Bane's a good little player. He's buff and he can shoot threes. Like I got no issue with Desmond Bane as a basketball player. 5 first-round picks is absurd. It was absurd. And now when you look at this one, I think that's the hard part about judging all of these trades. So the final deal ended up being, here's what they're sending. Obviously, Paul George, playoff P, is going to Boston. Have fun with that. Will he take HGH again this year? And then the Sixers are sending Boston a 2028 first-round pick that could convert to a swap if it's more favorable for Boston. A 2031 unprotected first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, and a 2030 second-round pick. So they traded 2 1s, 2 2s, and Paul George for Jaylen Brown. And this will... we talked a lot about this when they went through the coaching search, because I want to get to the Boston side of this in a moment. The idea of letting Splitter go to Chicago was controversial for some, right? Like a lot of people really thought he did a great job. I have a hard time kind of putting my thumb on the nose of like exactly how impactful of a coach he was. I give him credit for the things he deserves credit for. Some of the other stuff, I think schedule played a big part of it. We don't need to go through that whole thing again, but when the move was made to let Splitter walk and go hire Mike Inori, we all said this will become something that we kind of look back on, right? Like if Chicago has a good year, they signed Norman Powell yesterday. We're going to look back on it, in the middle of the season and be like, damn, look, Chicago's having a nice little year. Maybe Portland's struggling or their pieces don't work out. Like, did we make a mistake in that regard? That certainly will be a conversation that we assess throughout next basketball season. This will be one for me that is 10 times bigger because if you want to tell me that trading for Jaylen Brown for 4 first-round picks, Donovan Clingan, and after the John Moran trade, right, you're going to have to include Drew Holiday's salary just to get it done. Like that, yeah, all right, I get it. Maybe that's too rich for your blood, and maybe I'm still willing to roll the dice on it, but I understand the argument of like, that's way too much to give up for Jaylen Brown, especially when you already got Avdi on the wing and some of the fit stuff. Like, how does it all come together? Totally fair. If you're telling me you could have done Drew Holiday and 2 first-round picks and gotten this trade done, I have a hard time understanding, or 2 2s, like throw 2 2s in there too. I have a hard time seeing why you wouldn't want to pull the trigger on that trade. Jaylen Brown is a fascinating player, man. Like we started the week on Monday with the kind of noise around him and the Bobby Marks comments that somebody said he would be the 7th best, an analytics team said he'd be the 7th best player on a team. He's fighting back against that. This truly does feel like, and I think Bobby Marks ended up being 100% correct here, that is the perception of him around the NBA, is that when you look at the advanced metrics, he's not a plus net rating player, even though he averaged 29 points per game and was the finals MVP a couple of years ago and has been damn good his entire career. Like, his numbers are outstanding, but you look at metrics, you look at advanced analytics, you look at certain things, and they knock him down a peg or two. And the idea of him having this little value on the open market absolutely blew my mind. And I think we're going to look back on this trade throughout all of next season. And if Philly's rolling and Jaylen Brown is playing good, we are going to be kicking ourselves of saying, we have all of this draft capital. We have all of these picks to play with. All of the Milwaukee swaps, the Orlando pick in there. There's a Boston first-round pick in there. We got our own first-round picks. Like, this is as well collected of a grouping of assets that we've ever had to go out and make a move. There's not a guarantee that every offseason there's going to be, A, star available, and B, a star that's willing to play for your team. How many times have we gone through it where, hey, so-and-so is interested in a trade, yeah, but he's not going to play in Portland? Because that's usually how this stuff works out. We just went through it with Giannis. Like, we had the best package for Giannis. We wanted Giannis. What was Giannis not willing to do? He was not willing to sign the extension, so we're not going to go get him because, and I understand that. Like, that's too big of a roll of the dice. He leaves in 1 year. You don't win the championship. Like, man, that's a disaster. And then you're in a tough spot next offseason. But there's this idea of like, I just hold on to him, wait till the deadline. I'll wait till next year. Who's going to be available at the deadline? There will be somebody available, but do they want to play in Portland? Are they on an expiring contract? Are they going to be a free agent? Who's going to be available next offseason? We don't know the answer to that. What I know is that Jaylen Brown is a tremendous basketball player, and he's been a finals MVP and a conference finals MVP, and he just finished 6th in MVP voting. He unquestionably would have made your team better, and to only have him go for 2 first-round picks, maybe the analytics crowd is right here, and we look up halfway through the year, and his numbers sink a little bit, and it's like, man, he's starting to regress. Wow, what a dodged bullet. Turns into Hedo Turkoglu 2.0. All right, if that ends up being the case, we'll say, great move, Joe Cronin, for not going to get Jaylen Brown. But if he's cooking the next 2 to 3 years, and he's playing basketball at a high level, I have a hard time seeing how this doesn't turn into one of those, like, man, we couldn't have matched that offer? We couldn't have... Drew Holiday and 2 1s and 2 2s? That would have gotten the deal done, because I think Drew Holiday and... maybe they value Paul George more because they have White and they have Pritchard and they don't want another guard. But they also know Drew Holiday, and he helped them win a championship. And so I was shocked. What was your reaction when you saw 2 1s, 2 2s, and playoff P or podcast P for Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, I think obviously the components of the deal were staggering. One, I didn't realize Philly was in the mix to begin with.
No, I had no idea.
I feel like nobody mentioned Philly at all as being interested, let alone, have a front running chance. I believe it was Shams yesterday or Wendy, one of the two, that was saying that they had been in talks with the Celtics for a good couple weeks.
And we never heard a whiff of it.
And we never heard a whiff of it.
Which is another thing about the national media discourse. You just got to be careful of like, people are taking shots. They're not always right shots.
Right. And so we come to yesterday, and I mean, it sounded like this was the last offer on the table. And so if you think about Portland, you're thinking, well, we all we had to do was just keep nagging them about doing Drew Holiday and picks, and we probably would have had a chance. So yeah, I feel like that's a bit staggering, because you're talking about a guy that's a top 4 scorer in the league.
Yeah, he averaged almost 30 a game last year,
and he's got playoff experience and a champion, and you didn't want that here. So I mean, I'm sure they have a plan. I'm sure there's a plan that they see that us as fans obviously don't see. And it's just hard to fathom that we definitely had that kind of capital to send.
Easily to get it done.
Or more.
Right.
And we didn't want to offer that, let alone want the player. So I think it is a fascinating phenomenon of what is the perspective, or the, why is Jaylen Brown seen so less than us as fans see him?
It's a really confusing one. I think it's a big, like, we get this a lot in other sports. This happens a lot in baseball, right? When certain like numbers or metrics are valued more than others, and you can have a guy who's hitting, 235, but there's, his walk or his strikeout ratio or whatever the case, right? His BABIP, what's his ball in play? Like, there's certain numbers you could look at and say he's more valuable than that, and then there's people who don't dive into those kind of numbers, and you just use your eyeballs and watch the game, and I'm like, he's a good basketball player. He averaged 29 points per game last year. To your point, he's top 5 in the league in scoring, shot 35% from 3, averaged, rounding up 7 rebounds a game and 5 assists. Averaged 29, 7, and 5 a game. He's immediately your best player, in my opinion. Now, maybe you could tell me the youth of Denny, and he's a couple years younger than Brown, and he'll get to that point. But 29, 7, and 5 is pretty remarkable. It's MVP worthy of, at least in that conversation. And the break between the analytic crowd and the non-analytic crowd is very interesting here. And I'm with you. Like, again, if Quick's saying that you called and said, hey, Jaylen Brown's available, what is it going to take to get him? And they say 4 first-round picks, then you're saying to yourself, that's too much. We don't want to unload all of our assets. That's fine. This becomes then the reaction to, if that was what he was eventually traded for, you say, all right, we can have that debate. Would you have been willing to give up 4 first, Drew, and whoever? Like, if that's truly what the package ended up looking like, that's a legitimate debate that we can have down the road. But when it's not the package, and then you end up only going for 2 1s, like, it feels like a massive missed opportunity for me, a massive missed opportunity. And I think on the other side of this, because I want to get back into the Blazers in a moment, the quick piece on John Morant was great, and I want to read some snippets from it, and we'll get to that in a moment. Outside of this being a big missed opportunity, just in the vacuum of this trade, I'm having a really hard time. Now, again, time will tell on all this, right? None of us have a crystal ball. I'm having a really hard time seeing what Boston's seeing here. I just don't. Yeah. I don't get it. The reporting on this, Sham said multiple times. I think Wendy said as well yesterday. He never once got to the point where he asked for a trade.
Right.
It never got to that point. Now, there's some bad blood. He's on Twitch saying weird stuff. Mm-hmm. You shopped him publicly for Giannis. Like, I get it. Like, that's stuff that can have some cracks and friction inside that relationship. I get it. But if it never got to the point of him actually asking for a trade, when all this stuff kind of died down over the last 48 hours, I got to the point where I just thought, and I probably said it on the show yesterday, like, he's just going back to Boston. Mm-hmm. Like, let's see how this goes. And if you get to the All-Star or the trade deadline next year and it's like, dude, he's a headache in the locker room, he's yelling at Tatum, like, whatever the case, like he's on Twitch complaining about the coach every night. Yeah, dude, then you're going to force your hand and you're going to want to trade him at that point. But if this is all I'm getting for Jaylen Brown, I'm getting Paul George. Paul George? I had a buddy with a great point yesterday who texted. He was like, think about all the stuff Paul George has been traded for and all the trades that he's been involved with. And it is insane. Like, the things that he has set up with trades is remarkable.
Yes.
And that was where my mind went for Philly. Philly, to me, has a really good roster. Maxey is awesome as a young guard. We saw them against Boston in the first round come back from the deficit and win the series. Mm-hmm. Maxey is great. Edgecombe had a phenomenal rookie season. Embiid, you just can't rely on because he can't stay healthy. But when he is available and playing, he's still one of the best bigs in the league, and he showed that late in the year last year. And now I'm throwing Jaylen Brown in the mix. And so I had that same thought about Paul George of like, man, his trade set up this potential dynasty run in OKC with an MVP and all these draft picks that they've been capitalizing on. And like, look what he created in Oklahoma City with the trade. I had the same thought with Philadelphia yesterday of the East seems open. It seems like it's, 2 years ago it was Indiana coming out of nowhere winning it, damn near winning the finals. Last year when we're going into the playoffs, there were not that many people picking the New York Knicks to win the Eastern Conference. And they did. They steamrolled their way through. They won the championship. But to me, it just kind of shows health. You get hot at the right time. Like, it's open over there. There's not San Antonio and OKC standing as 1 and 2 in your way.
Right.
I think anybody will have a legitimate shot. And I'm not going to go Kendrick Perkins, like, hand him the championship now. I'm not gonna, that's just dumb because there's a long ways to go and injuries happen and it's a long season. And we don't know what the rest of the roster is going to look like. Do they go add more pieces? But in the short term, I just thought, man, you traded him to the team who just knocked you out of the playoffs, who's in your conference, who's also in your division. Boston and Philly are like, that's a rivalry out there in the Northeast. They're close together. And that's where you traded him for a guy who's been unreliable in the postseason, has had a hard time staying healthy, and was suspended for 25 games last year. And if the Twitch and the podcasting stuff was a concern for Jaylen Brown, may I enter into the chat Podcast P, who I think is more interested in being a podcaster than he is a basketball player at times in his career. That one, my head was spinning. I saw that yesterday. I'm like, okay, Philly, what was... And then you read through the package and just shocked that that's what it ended up being. If you had to buy a ticket on an Eastern Conference team right now for next year, would you buy a ticket on Philly?
Yes.
You would? Over everybody else in the East?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think the tandem of Maxey and Brown, and you're praying for a healthy Embiid.
I think that's the thing now,
VJ,
though. Like,
that's a nasty power forward,
right? And that's like, if you got if Maxey stays healthy, Edgecombe takes another step, and Jaylen Brown has. I don't need him to have 29-7
Oh
and
yeah,
pod.
you don't need that anymore.
25-5-5. Like, just be a good all-star caliber player.
Mm-hmm.
How many games does Embiid even have to play? Like, I'm
probably
loading
the amount he's been playing the last couple years, yeah.
Dude, I'm playing him every other game for the whole season. Just keep him healthy. Wrap him on any sort of bump or bruise, like, sit him down for a week. We just need you in April and May and June. Like, that's when you're going to need to be reliable. Like, I think they're going to be able to. They had a hard time at times doing that last year because Paul George was also suspended.
Right.
And so you got this great year for Maxey, a good rookie year for Edgecombe, and then George misses a quarter of the season. And Embiid's in and out of the lineup. Now you've added Jaylen Brown in the mix. It's a confusing one for me. Do you think Portland is going to regret not getting more aggressive on Jaylen Brown? 503-864-6326. I'm shocked that's all he got traded for, and we definitely could have matched that package. Also on the other side, Quick told us about it yesterday. Some great snippets from Micah Norrie's Sit Down with John Morant. What a quick write about. We'll give you some of the quotes and things that were said. That is next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the United States men's team won a World Cup knockout round match for the first time since 2002. They beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0 despite being down to 10 men for the final 36 minutes of the match. Valerian Balogun, who scored the opening goal in the 45th minute, was sent off with a red card in the second half. Malik Tillman was the hero with a goal off a free kick in the 82nd minute to seal the win. Next up for the U.S., Belgium on Monday night. The Belgians made a miraculous comeback against Senegal yesterday, scoring 2 goals in 3 minutes to force extra time, then won the match 3-2. Also, England is through to the round of 16. They rallied behind 2 goals from Harry Kane to escape DR Congo 2-1. In the NBA, the 76ers won the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes. Philly traded Paul George 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks to Boston for the former Finals MVP. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fans.
All right, welcome back in. Everybody's very level-headed and calm about the Blazers not getting Jaylen Brown, as you can imagine. Basketball coverage on the Fan presented by Xfinity's, who are the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years guaranteed. Xfinity, imagine that. Also, by the way, happy early play day for College Football 27. Anybody who celebrates? It's going to be this afternoon. Nap time.
Nice.
I can't wait. Jaylen Brown is a Philadelphia 76er. The Blazers did not jump into the mix. I wanted to read a couple thoughts on the Blazers side of this and then get into the Jason Quick, Ja Morant piece, which was really good. And again, if you missed the interview with Quick yesterday, he kind of teased that this piece was coming out, and I was eager to read it, and it came out shortly after I think the show was over. One thought that came in at the Fan text line, we probably get an answer saying they value Denny's development more than they value Jaylen Brown's impact. And that's a fair argument. I totally see the merit behind that. I'm not going to shoot that down. Denny was great last year. He took a massive step. It was the second half of the season previous to that, his first year in Portland. And we wondered, can he do this for a full season? And he did it for a full season. And he took on a bigger share of the offense and the usage rate. So I totally see that. I think the frustration is not necessarily just a Jaylen Brown thing. And again, the offseason is not done, so we don't know where they're going to go. Maybe there's another move in the works, although some of that is hinted at in the Quick piece, and I don't know how anticipate. I'm not sitting around on pins and needles waiting for a massive trade using multiple draft picks to go get somebody big. They certainly still have to do things. The roster is not full, so their offseason is not done. But the idea of there being a big move, there just has been this perpetual kicking of the can down the road, and every time you kick the can, there's a valid argument or two, right? Like, we can't trade. They wanted 3 first-round picks for OG Anunoby. Is he worth that? Like, I don't know, but you got to give up stuff to go get stuff. Like, that's a part of making trades is that there's got to be some risk on your side, and there seems to be, and I think that was one of the most hopeful things I had when Dundon took over, was that maybe some of that mindset would go away. Of just this like hesitancy to take a big risk, to take a big swing, and like, what if it doesn't work out? What if we use up all of our first round picks? And I would turn around and say, like, to the idea of previous trades, like some of the first round picks we wouldn't trade or refuse to because it was too rich were Scoot and Shaedon Sharpe. And now one's going into year 4, one's going into year 5. How do we feel about Scoot and Shaedon Sharpe right now? They're expendable for the majority of fans, right? You might be higher on Scoot, you might be higher on Shea, and feel like, this, maybe they can turn into something still. But like in terms of the ceiling of what they can be, we kind of know what it is at this point. When you're going into your 4th and 5th year in the NBA, I'm not saying you are what you are, but the idea of you turning into a star or a bona fide guy or a max contract kind of guy, that to me is out the window for both those guys. And so that's what you hope you're getting with first round picks. You didn't get it, and now we look back and we're like, well, if we move Scoot and Shea, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. There seems to be a risk-averse nature to this team. And again, you can pinpoint whatever, it's the Denny's development. We don't want to get in the way of that. Like, all right, also, how about we adjust and adapt? How is Ja Morant handling the ball going to affect Denny's development? How is Damian Lillard coming back going to affect Denny's development? A big part of the reason Denny had the numbers he had last year was because he was all we had. Everybody else got hurt.
Exactly.
Dame couldn't play. Drew was in and out of the lineup. Like, We had to lean on Caleb Love to win us basketball games last year. Like, dude, yeah, Denny's going to get the ball 99% of the time. That's already not going to happen next year. Ja Morant is a high-usage rate player. Damian Lillard, we're all just assuming he can play out the ball. That's not a guarantee. I hope that he can, and I think he's the best suited to do it on the team because of his ability to shoot. But he's also a guy who likes to have the ball in his hands to be impactful. And so if there's this fear of Denny's development, and that's the reason you're not trading for Jaylen Brown, I would just push back on, like, man, I think we already have two things that might impact Denny's development. And guess what? It's on Denny to evolve as a player. Learn how to be better without the ball in your hands. Learn how to be better defensively. If your usage rate goes down on offense, do we see a higher impact on the other end of the floor? Like, evolve as a player and develop as a player and find other ways to impact the game. And so I just simply don't have those fears. Again, this will all age either great or terribly for Portland. And we could look back a year from now and say, man, the Blazers went and got this star player. I am so glad they held on to their assets. That turned out wonderful. Jaylen Brown only averaged 19 points per game, and Philly got bounced in the second round of the playoffs. Way to go, Joe Cronin. But there's also the world where it goes the opposite way. It reminds me a little bit of the conversation we had last year after the draft about Young Hansen. Like, that felt like you're putting your nuts on the table, and that's who you took? Now, ironically, the guy who was in charge of our draft process and got suspended for the drafting of Young Hansen then left to go be the GM of another team. Thanks for that one, Mike Schmitz. But we said, like, hey, if he ends up playing great, we'll eat our crow, and we'll have to say, what a brilliant move by the Blazers to draft him. 1 year in, you just had to sign another center because he's not ready to play backup center minutes in the NBA in his second year, and he's like 22 years old. He's not a 19-year-old kid. He can drink alcohol now. So all of this stuff will age either good or bad. I have a hard time with their inability to just take a swing at any moment. And I know what the conversation will be. Well, wait till the deadline. Wait till next offseason. And I just hope we're not right back in the same spot a year from now doing the exact, hey, you know who's available. We got all these picks. Are we going to do it? And then we dangle this carrot in front of the fan base for like 3 months of content, and then nothing ends up happening. It's the same offseason. I think you are a better basketball team now than you were at the end of the season, because I think the upside of what you can get out of Ja Morant is better than Jeremy Grant. Like, I have no issue with that. We already talked about that trade. But this did feel like an offseason going into it where you were going to, like, all right, Dundon's here. We got assets. We got draft capital. Woo, let's go make a swing. And if all you end up with is Kelly Oubre and Ja Morant, it will be frustrating, and especially when you consider in this article. So Morant sits down with Mike Nori. Jason Quick profiles it. It's a great piece on The Athletic. I think if you go look at his Twitter account, he made it free. So if you don't have a membership, you can go read it. A lot of the stuff in here I love. What I don't love is some of the tidbits of, it feels like from the quotes from Mike Nori, like they genuinely are going to carry 4-point guards. And he insinuated that on the show yesterday, but there is a vibe of like, yeah, dude, we can make this work. Maybe it's an insurance because some guys haven't been available. We don't know how healthy Dame's going to be. Drew's been in and out of the lineup, and Ja Morant, we have talked about at length how he's only played like 75 games in 3 years. So that maybe is part of it, but they're going to carry 4-point guards into the season next year. 5 total guards if you count Shaedon Sharpe, it seems like, as of now, and that to me is a mistake because there's not so many minutes to go around. You're going to get frustrated players. And I do think some of your guys have value to go flip them for pieces that fill out the roster in a better way, that you can improve things around him. But some of the tidbits in here that were really encouraging, if you're looking for the good news as a Blazer fan, maybe you're totally out on Ja Morant. It doesn't matter what he says. But some of this stuff, man, like, again, he's got to go prove it. You can talk the talk, but you got to go walk the walk. The first quote from Mike Nori in this story is, quote, I think we're getting the best version of Ja. I think we are getting a motivated Ja. So he goes in. Nori remembers Morant saying, some things happen for a reason. And he knows that everything he does in Portland will be viewed under a microscope and all the attention that he will be getting. He said, quote, the way he was talking, the way he looked, the intent he had, you could just tell in his face that he's missed basketball. He assured us that we were getting the best Ja and that he was going to do all of the right things. Our lunch basically confirmed everything that I had heard from people who had worked with him daily, who would talk about him as a person, the people I trust, who would tell me the truth. And I told him the background I have on him, and that they had nothing but great things to say about him, not only as a player, but as a person and a teammate. All of his teammates love him. I told him the Blazers don't need you to do anything special. We just need you to be the best version of yourself. And they went through this. He said, throughout lunch, we didn't talk about playing time. We didn't talk about rotations. He didn't ask me to start. All he was talking about was how he had the most fun playing basketball those first couple of years at Memphis. When they were in the playoffs, he kept talking about how excited he was to have the opportunity to win basketball games and not have to play for ping pong balls. And so if you're looking for The positive spin in all this, now again, this is talk. It's the offseason. It's July. Are we going to get this version of Ja come December and January? If you're on a 10-game losing streak or, you aren't in the closing lineup because Drew Holiday's better than you defensively, is that the job we're going to get all year? Nobody knows, and we don't have the answer to that question. But we talked to Gary Parrish earlier in the week, and he had a sentiment of he hasn't really done a lot to show contrition for what he did. There hasn't been a lot of accountability, I guess, from Ja Morant's side, and that has left some in Memphis frustrated that there wasn't a bigger step of let me step out, take the heat, and then acknowledge it and try and put some of this stuff to bed. We still don't necessarily have that. There's not apologies in here about some of his behaviors and some of his actions or some of the stuff he did to former coaches. But I think just the idea of him understanding how important this opportunity is, the opportunity to win, and a fresh start and getting the best version of him, that's where I will acknowledge. I do think the roster is better now than it was in the last day of the regular season because you've re-signed Rob Will, and I would rather have Ja Morant on my team than Jeremy Grant. I just would because the upside's there and he's 26, and let's see what we got here. Maybe it ends up being a really good move for Portland, and he gets back to where he was 4 years ago. But if you want to get there, you got to get the mentality right. And again, it's July, but at least it was encouraging to read that he's understanding of the opportunity and hopeful that this is going to be the best version of Ja Morant going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. It's hard for me to think that Ja hasn't been waiting for this opportunity for the last 2-3 years.
Eager for a fresh start.
We all kind of knew that his time in Memphis was ending and that he was going to get a opportunity to kind of rewrite his script, kind of rewrite who he is as a person, as a player, kind of change his reputation here. So I agree, and I believe that that's the mindset he's coming into this with. Now, again, it's July. We'll see what happens and when training camp starts and when we get the season rolling. But as of now, I kind of like where his mindset is. And I like that Mike Nori's on board with him and they're kind of on the same page because that's especially with his relationships with his coaches in the past. It's nice to see that relationship starting on the right foot.
Yes.
And so it's only a matter of time, but I do like where this is going. And I think he'll be motivated. I think he'll want to prove people wrong, prove the naysayers wrong. And if he goes about that on the court rather than off the court, I think the potential is greater than I think a lot of people are seeing.
Yeah, man. This is the thing about Ja. And we talked obviously a lot about it in the aftermath of the trade. We were all shocked. It was nobody saw it coming, right? And again, another great example is, don't take too much stock in what the media is saying because who had Jaylen Brown in Philadelphia, right? That they had been talking for weeks, and I didn't hear that report one time. Where was Shams on that one? Bobby Marks was back on TV yesterday saying I think Portland's involved. I'm like, stop doing this to me, Bobby.
Right.
Please stop doing this to me, man. We just had Quick on. He said he's not coming here, all right? Don't get my hopes up. But when you go look at Ja, so the start of his year, now I'd have to go back and look because I think he was a little banged up, but then also they were tanking last year, and so part of it was he got nicked up, and they're like, "No, we're not going to play you,
right?
Because we're trying to lose." It was a bit of a Giannis situation in Milwaukee. I'm available. He got off to a horrendous start. His start of the season was not very good, and then he had a stretch in there where it was solid. He kind of found his groove. Not every night was perfect, but when you look at his last, let's see, what would this be? 10-ish games, give or take. Before his last game he played of the season was January 21st last year. I mean, he averaged in the month of December 22 points, 7 assists, shot 42% from three, 50% from the floor. He only played 3 games in January before it was all shut down. He averaged 21 points, 12 assists. He had double-digit assists in all 3 games, shot 36% from three, 45% from the floor, and he was playing, 26, 27 minutes a night. So, I mean, his first month of the year, he shot 15% from 3. And it's that's a big part of the reason it was as low as it was last year. And he's not going to be a reliable shooter. That's not my argument. The argument is just simply there was a good sample. It was at least a good stretch of basketball in there for him last year at one point. And that, I think, is what you're hopeful for. So, again, it's not the idea of being anti-Ja trade. I've been on board with that the entire time. I want to read a couple more thoughts on this because everybody's hot and bothered at Joe Cronin. And I certainly understand it, man. Seeing what Jaylen Brown went for and the idea of will there ever be a swing? Well, this feels like Neil O'Shea 2.0 to a certain extent of we tried. Hey, we were in the mix. Hey, we offered 2 first-round picks. They wanted 3. Well, yeah, maybe if that's what it takes to go get them, that's what you got to do. A little bit more on this on the NBA. We'll talk to Tyson Aldridge coming up top of the hour. Back after this, 105.1 FM The Fan.
The, 105.1 FM, 1080 AM. 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 1080
All righty, welcome back in. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Hopefully your 4th of July weekend's off to a good start. We still got a lot to get to on the show today.
Not trying to be a chotch.
No chotches today. Tyson Aldridge's going to join us coming up top of the hour. We'll have some fun with him. We got the Magic Hat at 9 o'clock. Excited about that. Is anybody going to throw Taylor Swift's wedding into the Magic Hat? Huh? You want to talk about that today?
Also one of my Magic
Is it one of your Magic hats?
Just checking them all
Dude,
off.
I'm glad you're putting that, because I didn't have that in mind, and I keep seeing stuff about it, and we need to talk about that. So
the
I'm
fact
glad.
that was a breaking news notification on my phone from ESPN was just like,
what did they say on ESPN?
Oh, it was just like, I think a law official or a police officer gave him insight that the wedding was going to be on tomorrow in MSG. I'm just like, what are we doing? I think it's because I'm on my dad's account. He's a Chiefs fan, so maybe that's how that
so you
rolled
get that
in there.
notification.
But still, I'm just like, come
Dude,
on, man.
Ballsy move. The notification thing is a topic in of its own right. Like there's some, I need to cancel. I try my best anytime I do something. I turn all notifications, like all social media notifications are off. If people come, I used to get those like on our show page. People would send us tweets to the show page, and I'd get like notifications on my phone. It wouldn't stop, and I'm like, I got to get rid of these things because they drive me nuts. And it always makes you pick up your phone and go look at it, and then you put it back down. But there's some that I haven't stopped yet. Like OfferUp. I still get daily notifications from OfferUp. They do not, like, stop it, dude. Stop. I don't want a PlayStation 4 and a comfy couch. I'm okay. You've sent me the same notification for like a year, and I've just been too lazy to cancel it. So I desperately need to do that. The ESPN one's funny. Couple thoughts. Let's read through some of this. Everybody's feeling great. The Blazers did not get Jaylen Brown. And according to Jason Quick, they never really even tried. I mean, they made an initial call. It sounds like the Celtics said, how about 4 first-round picks? They said nope, and that seems to be the extent of it. Now, to Bob's point on the YouTube chat, and this is totally fair, in these conversations, maybe Portland was still involved, and maybe they just valued a wing more than they valued a guard. And it, like, in that regard, if I'm trading for, if I'm Boston making this move, I would much rather have Paul George than Jeremy Grant. There's not a debate there. I know Paul George has been a punching bag for a while, but I would much rather have him. So maybe that was the case, right? And you offered him Drew Holiday, and they said no. Or maybe I think that's a difficult part about all of this is trying to react to it is exactly what was offered and how deep the conversations got. How involved were you actually? Nobody's ever going to know that because maybe we offered 3 first-round picks and Drew Holiday, and they said no, we want a wing, and we didn't have the wing that they wanted because Jeremy Grant kind of sucks, and they said we'll take Paul George instead. And they were able to get that done in Philly because they wanted Paul George. Like, I don't know what they're evaluating and what they're actually wanting. I have a hard time seeing why you would want Paul George that bad for Jaylen Brown from the outside looking in. And if draft capital truly was the most important thing to you, to go flip that for something else, seems like there could have been some more noise there. A lot of thoughts coming in on Cronin. People comparing him to Olshey, kind of doing the same Olshey again thing over and over again. How many offseason trade deadlines do we need to see it? Joe's not going to make another meaningful move. Another one, it's always wait till next deadline. I certainly understand that. And so there's just a balance here of, again, incomplete picture. We got to wait and see what the rest of the roster looks like and who they end up filling everything else out with. An idea of disappointment, excitement for John Morant and to see what he looks like and does he return to the version of himself. There will be a microscope on you next season from an NBA landscape. Like when you traded for Ja, the coverage from a national perspective was more coverage than the Blazers have had since Dame was traded. Like, yeah, has anything come close to that in terms of a national conversation? I think most in the national media forgot we had a franchise over the last 4 years. We tanked, traded away our best player, and then tanked again. Like, no, we were out of sight, out of mind. We were literally irrelevant amongst the national media around the NBA, and we largely will fall to the background. I grant you that. And it was covered everywhere. The John Morant trade, so you're going to have eyeballs on it. You're going to have attention. There will be excitement. I guarantee you there will be a highlight early in the season that anybody saying they're out or John Morant sucks. Like the second he has a 30-point game and he dunks on somebody in the paint, all of you will, like, we got excited about Mario Hezonja. People trying to act like we won't buy fully into this 1 week into the season when we start 3-0 and he has a 30-burger early on. Like, get out of here, dude. We know who we are as Blazer fans. We know how we'll react to that. But just, yeah, there's just a general frustration and a question of Joe Cronin's ability to make the big move that is necessary to make. And this is where things get challenging because we talked about this on the Philly side earlier. There's an open nature to the Eastern Conference. And somebody's saying, how dare you, discount the Knicks? They swept the Sixers. You're not wrong. I'm not trying to discount the Knicks. We just have seen from 8 straight years now, it's really hard to win back-to-back championships. And that's the way we usually look at the NFL. Like forever, you didn't have a back-to-back Super Bowl champ from New England in the early 2000s all the way to Kansas City doing it a couple of years ago. Like it took a long time in order to get there. And so I think the NBA is somewhat in that category now. Like I don't think the Knicks are going to add a ton to their roster. They've lost some players. You had to play an extra however many months. Like you lose a little bit of that hunger. You're fat and happy on your championship parade. Like it's just hard. It's hard to go do it. So it's not about necessarily discounting the Knicks, but there's an open nature to the East that if our roster was over in the Eastern Conference, like again, who's the favorite in the East right now? Maybe for you it is New York. Maybe it's Philly now that they got Jaylen Brown. Maybe it's, maybe you think Detroit again if they go get a piece that they need, but we don't even know if they're going to get Durham back. We haven't seen the outcome of that. So there's an open nature to it that would leave me more hopeful. That does not exist in the Western Conference right now, and that's the difficult part of like, do you have the horses in order to make actual noise, or are you just going to be a very, a fun little season, exciting team? You get some nice highlights because Shaden Sharp's maybe the best athlete in the NBA and John Morant's a walking highlight. But what does it ultimately equal? A 6 seed in the playoffs and losing in the first round? Like, that to me is not a step. That's not progress. And so you could see individual progress from players, but it doesn't seem like you're truly pushing the ball forward. And so after coming out of a generation of seeing Neil O'Shea do that to Damian Lillard, to see Cronin now have another opportunity with a chunk of assets to likely, now again, we don't know fully yet, but likely not go move them, it feels like more of the same, and we're just going to sit around and wait for draft picks to convey, and we hope we get some cheap contracts because those are very valuable in the NBA and the new luxury tax system, and that would just suck because they're a long ways down the road, and I think a lot of Blazer fans are really tired of just constantly doing the kick down the road and hoping if we get internal to Shaden Sharp pops this year. Like, we've done that for 4 years now. Shaden Sharp is what he is. He's a good little player. 20 points per game is nothing to, sneeze at, but he is what he is at this point in his career. And so I certainly understand the frustration from people, and now we get to wait and see what's going to happen with Boston, what's going to happen with Philly next year, and does Jaylen Brown end up making a lot of teams look really stupid? A fascinating analytics versus non-analytics debate of what is more important, just being good at basketball and winning and putting up numbers, or your advanced metric and your net rating? What's more important? It's just fascinating one to follow in the time to come. A few other NBA moves happened yesterday. I don't know how noteworthy all of them are. Tobias Harris going to San Antonio was a pretty big deal. Did you see that one? That was, a good little player. He had a good run in Detroit.
That's a good role player for that team. Kind of getting people around Wemby. I think that's another good asset for them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he was a 2 years, $31 million is what he signed in San Antonio. So, I mean, he's been an interesting guy for a while because his last contract was so big that he never really – he's a good player, but he didn't feel like he lived up to the value of it. Right. It's one of those, tough you want him, but not at that number kind of situations. So San Antonio needed another vet, a lot of young guys on that roster. Yeah. He's a guy that can knock. He's a 3-and-D guy. He can knock down some shots. I don't know what his let me see what his 3 percentage was last year.
He had some games in the playoffs that
dude, he was huge for them in the playoffs,
which probably got him that kind of a deal.
Yeah, I mean he averaged. 13 and 5's not a ton. He's up there, but he's 6'8". He's got some length to him. He has 37% 3-point shooter. That's solid. Yeah. 37% for his career as well. So those are good numbers. So that, I liked that move for San Antonio. I will say the other thing I thought about yesterday was, did the Jaylen Brown move throw Philadelphia into the mix for LeBron James on a minimum contract?
Yeah, that's kind of the next topic now is.
How would you not look at that if you're LeBron and say, that's pretty attractive right there. Mm-hmm. Great backcourt, up-and-coming guy. Jaylen Brown is a proven winner. Embiid we know how good he can be when available. San Antonio's not going to go after him, it sounds like, because of the Harris move. That's, similar positions and all that. You're not going to go out another cook in the kitchen.
Right.
But Philly, man, you could have a starting lineup of Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, LeBron, and Joel Embiid. Yeah. I mean, LeBron legitimately, any given night, you would just need him to be the 4th or 5th best player on the floor.
Right.
On your team. That's scary. That was the thought that I had. Philly makes a lot of sense there, man.
Sure.
A lot of sense. So we'll wait and see where the rest of the offseason goes. Free agency, I'm sure, will kick up. We'll see if the Blazers do anything over the weekend. Sprague and Brandon will be here on Monday if we get any other moves. And obviously, if anything happens the rest of the show, we'll let you know. I know everybody's... Some people are satisfied. Some people are frustrated. Some people are happy. Some people are upset. You're never, it's a bit of a wide canvas right now, or a wide spectrum, I should say. And we'll see how the rest of the offseason goes. To have a final judgment on it, because there's still some open roster spots. Frustrating, though, to again feel like, a lot of bridesmaids moments over the years for Portland. Hey, we're involved with this guy. Hey, well, they tried to get him. They tried really hard to get him. Well, I'm glad we're trying to get them. I'd like to actually get one at one point. Because being the bridesmaid sucks time and time again. Been a lot of that over the last handful of years. Lots to get to in the third hour of the show. I will talk a little bit Oregon recruiting. They had some good news on the recruiting trail yesterday. We'll kind of take a look at where the classes on the West Coast are stacking up. Oregon climbing up the charts now into the top 5. Washington got a big commitment yesterday as well. So we'll talk a little college football recruiting in the third hour of the show. We'll get back into the World Cup. We got to do that. Some big games coming up this weekend. We'll revisit some of the audio from earlier in the show. Let's start, though, with our buddy Tyson Alger. I think he's up in Anacortes waiting to get on a ferry. He was like, I think this reception will be good. So this will be fun. We'll try this out. But he was at Savannah Bananas over the weekend. I want to ask him about that. He was at the USA game in Seattle when they played Australia, so we'll talk to him about those and probably a little Oregon football. That's a loaded third hour. Don't go anywhere. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 FM, The Fan.
McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the United States men's team won a World Cup knockout round match for the first time since 2002. They beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0 despite being down to 10 men for the final 36 minutes of the match. Valerian Balogun, who scored the opening goal in the 45th minute, was sent off with a red card in the second half. Malik Tillman was the hero with a goal off a free kick in the 82nd minute to seal the win. Next up for the U.S., Belgium on Monday night. The Belgians made a miraculous comeback against Senegal, scoring 2 goals in 3 minutes to force extra time, then won the match 3-2. Also, England is through to the round of 16. They rallied behind 2 goals from Harry Kane to escape DR Congo 2-1. In the NBA, the 76ers won the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes. Philly traded Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks to Boston for the former Finals MVP. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports.
Back in hour number 3, Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube.
Fantastic.
Got a lot to get to here in hour number 3 of the radio program. Thanks for being with us on a Thursday. Hope everybody's ready for the 4th of July and excited to catch up with our buddy Tyson Alger. Look at Eugene Springfield, the I-5 corridor, at Tyson Alger on Twitter. Go give him a follow right there. Where in the world is Tyson Alger? Where are we at this morning?
We are currently pulling into the ferry dock here in Anacortes, heading over to Friday Harbor for a little 4th of July weekend before a pretty big soccer game coming up on Monday.
Yeah, pretty sizable game. Now, I got questions about that because you were at the last game in Seattle. What is the Friday Harbor is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Anacortes, great little town. The ferry ride's awesome. What is the do we got family in Friday Harbor? What's the draw there for the 4th of July?
Yeah, got some family on island, and then also we're just going to do a little camping.
It's a good way to do it.
Figure, nothing like 4th of July when the clouds start rolling in, and so, no, we're gonna have a good time.
That's gonna be a nice little 4th of July. Now, are you going to make it on Monday to Seattle? Is Tyson Alger going to be there?
Correct.
Oh, buddy, how? All right. Let's start here. So I did want to ask you about the Savannah Bananas because you were down there and your TikTok thing made me laugh out loud of like you felt like you were in a 2-hour TikTok. And so I wanted to ask you about it. Also probably slip in some Oregon questions too. But the atmosphere against Australia, you've been to a lot of big-time games. You've covered a lot of big Duck games and Autzen Stadium and road games or whatever. Like how do we kind of, rank the atmospheres of what you've seen? Where did that one show up? And what are our expectations from Monday night against Belgium in Seattle?
Yeah, that was as big as any bowl game I've ever been to, and that includes national championship atmospheres. I mean, it does feel slightly like a college football atmosphere, just because there's. I think that's probably the closest thing to the fandom and the crowd,
right.
Just of all the supporters that show up and kind of the pre-gaming and everything. But for that U.S. Australia game, I mean, I got the kickoff was noon, and I got to the stadium complex around 7:30, and there was already thousands of Australians there, or several breakfast beers deep at that point. So.
That sounds like an Australian fan. You need a couple of good breakfast beers to get your day started. I'm not opposed to that. I'll probably do it over the weekend for the 4th of July. Now that you've become more involved with soccer, I'm curious to ask you something. Like we had a listener earlier in the show ask the question. I think hockey deals with this a lot, and you know that, where we get these big moments in hockey, and it's like, well, will there be a trickle-down effect? Like, will we see this tangibly impact other parts of the hockey world? And I think you saw that to a certain extent during the Stanley Cup playoffs, where the numbers were some of the highest that we've seen. Now, you're not in the same league as the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball in terms of ratings and eyeballs, but we did see the numbers tick up. And I don't know if that's directly because of the gold medal, But I am curious as somebody, like, you're covering, obviously, the Timbers, you're around matches, you've gotten more involved in soccer, of just what you have made of how not only collectively we've gotten behind this and how big of a deal this certainly is, but do we think there will be a ripple effect of it down the road impacting watching and caring about soccer that's not a nationally based tournament?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't think we're going to suddenly, like, as soon as the World Cup ends, I don't expect MLS to have, like, 100% increases in overall attendance and those sorts of things. But, I do think what is most valuable here is not only is there obviously kind of a growing overall interest in soccer, but I think what you're seeing too is, like, a lot of the stars are digging this too. Like you've seen these amazing crowds, these amazing stadiums. And I think the U.S.'s problem is, it's not that it's like, the U.S. doesn't hate soccer. I think the U.S. just hates being bad at soccer. And so, I think this is kind of the perfect storm of the U.S. team is playing really well. And I think if you start to get some of these bigger international stars who aren't so deep into their careers that go, hey, I want to come over here and play, I think that's where you could really kind of start to see that momentum, because, like, the MLS isn't going to suddenly become the best league in the world, but if you have some of the better players to follow, I think that's what can really kind of jumpstart this thing.
Well, and I think that's, it's almost like a, chicken and the egg thing, right? Like, the more people are interested, the more people are going, the higher the ticket prices, the more revenue, the more you can afford in terms of players. Like, there's a process there that can get the MLS to another level. It's an interesting conversation to see where it goes. Tyson Alger, we're talking to our good buddy. Look out Eugene Springfield, I-5 corridor, at Tyson Alger on Twitter. Go give him a follow. He's up in Anacortes getting ready to jump on a ferry. So kind enough for taking a few minutes for us here this morning. I do want to ask you about the Savannah Bananas. I kind of forgot that was going on. And then I saw something on Thursday or Friday of last week, and I'm like, that's right, they're playing at Autzen. And I've never watched a Savannah Banana game on TV. I will probably never watch a Savannah Banana game on TV again, but I wanted to see what Autzen looked like as a baseball field. The takeaways, and I know you wrote about it at Lookout Eugene Springfield, the takeaways from being at a Savannah Bananas game, and are you now a banana head?
I'm not a banana head, and I don't think I'll watch another game. I probably definitely won't go to another game, and that's not because it was bad. It's just not for me. I mean, it's for kids, Andy.
Tricks are for kids, silly rabbit.
It was just completely overwhelming being there. There's a million different sounds going on. You don't quite know where to look, and, like, the thing for me is I was actually kind of impressed by, like, how decent of baseball players these guys actually are. But, like, if you try to focus on one thing, you're going to miss about 4 or 5 of the others. So it was a cool event. It was cool to see, like, kind of the biggest circus in town. I thought Autzen was a cool environment for it. Parking was just an absolute mess. So I think some people missed a couple minutes from the games. But other than that, it was a cool event. I have no complaints. June can be a little slow around here, so I'll go take watching a bunch of people clown around a baseball field. So
get the shot of life. It used to be we used to, like, if you're old when you tell cars in your neighborhood to slow down. I feel like that might be the new line now. If there's too much sound and noise and things going on at the same time, if that's how you feel about a Bananas game, because I certainly felt that way on TV. I can't imagine what it was like in person, how outrageous it was. I think I'm with you. I think we're old, and that's okay. It's not for us. Not every sport has to be. And it certainly was entertaining to see it on television and see Eugene, the sold out crowd. The rain held off. It was great seeing your tweets of the rain came in right after the thing ended. So we'll see if they make a return trip to Eugene and give us a little shot of life in the sports world again next year. Let me slip in a couple of duck questions before we let you go, because I know you got a busy morning. What have you made of Oregon's trip over to Japan and the Godzilla versus Duck Heisman campaign that has already begun now for Dante Moore?
I think it's really cool. I mean, my issue with it is, like, bringing a player to Tokyo and doing all that, like, to me seems substantially larger than the Joey Heisman billboard 25 years ago. But I just feel like at this point, like, you can't, like, you've done so much cool stuff that it's like, yeah, this was cool, but like what do you have to do to make the to make the news cycle, if you will. Not that like we didn't see like Dante Moore and the pictures of them in Japan, but it's just like, oh my God, like they went to Japan, and it's just kind of like, yeah, but Savannah Bananas are here, guys.
It's like an old story at this point. They've done so many Heisman campaigns over the years. A couple of quick, just because we're not that far off from the team reporting, and it's right around the corner. Give me 2 or 3 of the most interesting storylines going into this Oregon football season that you're looking forward to writing about once you're back in town and the Duck season gets kicked up.
Yeah, I think that this could potentially be the best defensive line Oregon's ever had, and so I just want to be able to kind of see the havoc you're able to wreak from being able to bring guys like Mateo and Amari Washington and Bear Alexander back. I really want to see kind of the development of some of those really star freshmen from last year, whether it was like DeCorian Moore at wide receiver or Brandon Finney at cornerback. And then, just kind of going back to it, like Dante Moore, I think has the potential. Like, I think Dante Moore is as talented of an Oregon quarterback as I've ever seen. He had a very good first year. Let's see if he can do what other Oregon quarterbacks have done in the past, where you take that really good first year and then turn it even better the next year. So I think that's kind of what I'm following.
All right, last one for you, Tyson. We'll let you go. Multi-parter, because it is the 4th of July. I'm a big 4th of July guy. So what's our go-to meal on the 4th? What do we like throwing on the grill? Will there be fireworks involved? And then does the 4th of July fall in Tyson Alger's top 3 holidays on the calendar?
4th of July can be a top 3. It's not one that I necessarily rely on, but so sometimes you just don't have plans for it. But like, I feel like a good 4th of July is a top tier holiday, especially if the weather is good. And I'm kind of a traditionalist. Give me some burgers, give me a hot dog. We didn't do a whole lot of fireworks up in Alaska because it's light out the whole dang day. So still adjusting to that, but we'll have a good time.
There you go. Tyson Alger. Look out Eugene Springfield. Go give him a follow on Twitter at Tyson Alger. Check out the I-5 corridor as well. Have a great 4th of July, buddy. Thanks for the time this morning. Travel safely, and can't wait to follow your content Monday at the United States World Cup game.
All right. Sounds good, buddy. Thank you.
There you go. Tyson Alger of the I-5 corridor getting ready. Yeah, having plans certainly helps. I guess some people, like we talked about that to start the show today, and the New Year's Eve listener chimed back in and said, my argument was New Year's Day, not New Year's Eve, because he connects it with football, and that's fair. New Year's Day is a solid day. Nobody's really doing anything. You wake up, everybody's a little hungover, you watch football all day. Like hopefully a lay on your couch for 12 hours straight and watch football. So that there's certainly a compelling argument to be made. The plans help. Friday Harbor, by the way, beautiful. If you've ever been up there, Anacortes, Friday Harbor, that whole area, oh, man, taking the ferry over, it's awesome. My folks are going up that way later this next week, I think. They're going a little bit further, going to Victoria. But it's a fun vacation. If you've never done it, man, that's high on the bingo card. It should be, at least, if you've never done it before. Did you know that Binary Brewing and The Fan have teamed up for the Only Fan IPA? Available for a limited time. Taste the Fan with Binary Brewing's signature West Coast IPA. Go to Binary Brewing, their Beaverton location, and ask them about their Only Fan. So good. Only the Fan and Binary Brewing can pull it off. So go check that out. I think we had some of those out at the Golf Classic, if I'm not wrong.
I think so.
I think those were there. The logo of the can's awesome. Mm-hmm. People had a lot of fun with that. And there you go. So go check out the Only Fan IPA at Binary Brewing. 4th of July is this weekend. Excited about it. And the only question I have left on my 4th of July plans, I still need to go buy I'm going to go out to Clackamas County and get some fireworks today. I have decided fireworks will happen. Relationships be damned, and people not wanting them there, I don't care. I'm getting myself some fireworks. Like, I'm not going crazy. I'm not going to go buy, go up to Vancouver. Do they still sell illegal fireworks in Vancouver? Is that still what you have to do? Do they sell them up in Washington? Because that used to be the thing back in the day. Like, you'd have to go. We couldn't buy them in Oregon, but you could go buy them other places. Yeah. I'll never forget doing when I was in 7th grade, or 6th grade maybe, it ended horrible because my appendix broke on the trip. But we road tripped out to Nebraska for a wedding. I had a cousin who was getting married. And my mom and my aunt thought this would be a great idea. Let's rent a van and go see Mount Rushmore and, Jackson Hole. And you go through all, we're weaving up and down the country, taking the summer off. And there was a lot of great moments on it. Probably the highlight of the trip was realizing how prevalent fireworks are in other parts of the country. Growing up in the bubble of Oregon, you have no idea. No. Even when my brother moved, because my brother lived in North Carolina for about 10 years, and I will never forget my first time down there, because we would always do a trip usually to go see him in like December around the holidays to catch up, or he'd come back out, and then vice versa in the summer. We'd go out and visit him. Dude, the warehouse places they have, I'm not kidding you. You walk into these places and it's like half of it's booze and half of it's fireworks. And I'm like, this is a horrible combination. But man, this is kind of fun. And there are so many options, and there's all these, big exploding mortars and all these different things you can go buy. And it's a whole nother world out there. And so I'm not going to go that route, but I will be buying some fountains and getting ready. I also got to decide what kind of dogs. We got to, are we going all beef? Are we going sausage dogs? These are complicated questions. What's your go-to hot dog on the 4th of July?
Oh, man. Well, I said earlier in the week that I don't really look at what exactly is the components of the hot dog.
Doesn't
Just
bother
give me
you?
the hot dog.
Hot dog doesn't matter? Now, what if somebody throws a veggie dog at you? Are you
No,
okay
no,
with
sir.
that? You're out on veggie
Nope.
dogs.
No, sir.
So that's a bridge too far for you.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. If I'm only if I'm like forced to eat that,
Like
kind
you're
of
at
like
this
at the golf classic when you were forced to eat the veggie burrito and it actually turned out good.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Yeah. I didn't throw a temper tantrum, and it was actually shout out to Victor Rico's. It was a solid veggie burrito.
Yeah. So yeah, beef or pork, just kind of the usual standard. Don't stray off into sausage or bratwurst or something.
Right,
I mean, I don't mind a brat either. Like,
Yeah,
brats
brat
are
can
good
get the
too,
job
but
done.
Hot dogs are just the way to go. Beef or pork. Just keep it simple.
Next year, I might want to go. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year or not. We everything's in my neighborhood, so we're not going too far around. Like, my folks live in the neighborhood. My brother lives in the neighborhood, so we're just walking around doing a barbecue. Next year, I might try and go a little more extreme. I might do like smoke a pork butt or something, or give me some racks of ribs. Like, I'm not going to go too extreme this year, but I'm a little now that I'm here and it's in 2 days. I'm not going to go plan. I'm not going to go buy a bunch of food. I still need to go get my fireworks. That will happen, but I think next year I might go a little bit bigger. But hopefully everybody's got good 4th of July plans. Thanks again to Tyson Aldridge for hopping on. And man, that would be fun. He's going to be there Monday night against Belgium. That's going to be
very jealous.
Woo, buddy. It'll be a lot of fun, man. That atmosphere is going to be awesome. Let's talk about what we saw on the recruiting trail yesterday as the strength of West Coast football continues to be growing, it seems like. Oregon making a big move. Washington gets a nice commitment. We'll give you an update on some of the recruiting trail stuff from yesterday in college football. Talk a little college football to give you a palate cleanser. We'll get back into the World Cup coming up later on this hour of the show. We're back after this. 105.1 FM The Fan.
McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the United States men's team won a World Cup knockout round match for the first time since 2002. They beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0 despite being down to 10 men for the final 36 minutes of the match. Valerian Balogun, who scored the opening goal in the 45th minute, was sent off with a red card in the second half. Malik Tillman was the hero with a goal off a free kick in the 82nd minute to seal the win. Next up for the U.S., Belgium on Monday night. The Belgians made a miraculous comeback against Senegal, scoring 2 goals in 3 minutes to force extra time, then won the match 3-2. Also, England is through to the round of 16. They rally behind 2 goals from Harry Kane to escape DR Congo 2-1. In the NBA, the 76ers won the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes. Philly traded Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks to Boston for the former Finals MVP. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
I have tiny legs and I'm fat. Hey, welcome back in, everybody. Hope your Thursdays are going great. Side note tangent, although we will talk Oregon football here. In the face of Logan on the YouTube chat, Sprague's gone for one day. We get more Duck segments. Dirt must be stopped. I will not be stopped. It's not going to happen. Dude, I am so excited for football season to be here. We had a listener tweet us earlier this week. It was like, yeah, the Blazer off-season stuff's fun. The World Cup, fine. Like, Can we talk some more football? Our boss is that way, our big boss. Anytime we do a football segment, we get an attaboy when we walk out of the studio because he's not that into the, like, he understands it, like, gets why we talk other things, but he's like, I'm not a big Blazer guy. I'm not a bit, like, we'll throw in an NFL segment. He's like, thank you. I needed that. Thank you. You're welcome.
So, cleanser.
We'll do it here in a moment, but I did, Harley had chimed in saying he's got to watch Joe Dirt this weekend, which it's now sent me down a rabbit hole of, do you have a associated movie that you watch every year on the 4th of July, or is it a rotating category of movies? And how many movies fall into that category? Because some people will go like, you get like a war movie in there, you get like a, Glory, or you go back to something like that. Do we have a 4th of July movie that we go to every year? Or is it like I'm flipping around whatever happens to be on in the middle of the day, happens to be on, and I'll watch that? Because most of the normal 4th of July movies are on TV on the 4th of July.
We kind of alluded to it earlier in the week, but Independence Day.
That's the one you go to every year.
So
you'll find a way, like 4th of July, every year you'll find a way to put
Yep.
that on and watch it.
Yep, I will find it, and I will watch it, and I will enjoy it.
Every time.
It's so good.
It's such a good movie. And it's got the strength of, you don't rewatch it that often other than the 4th of July usually is when it's connected to.
That's correct.
And so it's not one you're watching throughout the year where you're like, I don't really have any hunger for that. It's almost like a Christmas movie in that regard. It's like, man, it's been 10, 11 months since I've seen it. I'm kind of excited again. The number one on my list is easily The Sandlot. Because of the fireworks scene, like Sandlot, I would say it's Sandlot and then a sizable gap for me. But if I do find my way over to Independence Day, that's in my top 3 without a doubt. And then I don't know why, because there's a lot of different war movies that you can choose from. Knowing it's 250, especially this year it hits, I think The Patriot's probably in my top 3.
Yeah.
I think that's my go-to top 3 for the 4th of July. But it is funny the different movies that people will like associate with holidays and what connects to you. Mm-hmm. Like I was reading through, so that list got me thinking. And it's been a long time since I've seen it, so maybe there's storylines and part. Like, is Jaws the 4th of July movie to you?
Not for me.
Right? Like, there's just funny. Reading through some of these lists has made me laugh. Like some of them I get, like Born on the 4th of July, way back in the day with Tom Cruise. Miracle, you could go that route if you want to go that route. A lot of political movies in here as I'm scrolling through. Like this has Forrest Gump as a 4th of July movie on Rotten Tomatoes. Huh?
I don't know.
Huh? Gettysburg, sure. You want to do that? I'm all for it. Gettysburg can count. Sandlot, top of the list, though. Sandlot's number 1. Independence Day. National Treasure showed up on this list. Dude, what is Rotten Tomatoes doing? I know what you did last summer, 4th of July movie for people. Armageddon, solid. I could see Armageddon being one. Pearl Harbor, yeah. So I was scrolling through that list. I got a little sidetracked there in the commercial break. If you got a 4th of July movie, let me know what it is if it didn't show up on the list. Big Sandlot guy. Brandon is into Independence Day, which is just a phenomenal call.
Great combination.
I mean, it's perfect right
Will
there.
Smith for the humor.
Right.
And then the speech right before they go and kill the aliens. It's amazing.
It gets you going every time. If you could give a speech like that, you might be able to win a couple of football games. And let's pivot to talking some college football. Let's go whoop their ass! So, an update on the recruiting trail from yesterday. Oh, by the way, sorry, last tangent. Just remembered. We have a photo. We have photo evidence of Jason Swigart in water on social media, claiming 500 yards, which I know he's not. I think he's being tongue-in-cheek sarcastic because he's legitimately 5 feet away from the boat. But he's floating around in some ocean near, I don't know where he is, Croatia, wherever the hell he is right now, saying 500 yards, give or take. So everybody please go to Swag's Twitter account and roast him for thinking he can swim 500 yards in the ocean. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's get to a couple of nuggies from yesterday. So I knew it was going to be a big day. I think there's a rivals thing going on right now, a recruiting camp or game. I don't know. I don't follow it that closely. I just know that when names are going to be coming off the board to take a look because I'm curious to see where guys are going to go. Ended up being a really nice day for the Northwest in recruiting yesterday. Washington nabbed the first one. Jakova, I think is how you say his first name. Doyal, he's a 6'3", 290-pound interior offensive lineman. Oregon was in the mix for him. I had read differing reports. Some said that Oregon backed off a little bit. Others said that they didn't because they just signed another offensive lineman. So who knows what to believe. But they were definitely one of his finalists. UCLA, Utah were the other ones. So he commits to Washington. They get some interior offensive line help. That's a nice pickup for Jed Fish. And then Oregon snags a safety, Tay Waldron Jr., 6'2", 180-pound safety over LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Auburn. He's ranked as the number 3 athlete according to Rivals in their industry rankings. So he's a guy that sounds like you could go both ways a little bit. Maybe ends up playing a little bit of offense. And then the other one they added a corner, Hayden Stepp is the other one. He chose Oregon over Alabama and Cal, 6'3", 190 pounds. And so where this is noteworthy, and I find this interesting when you look at the ranking as a whole, like, it is a good reminder. I make fun of Timbers fans a lot with this, where it feels like and this year's maybe going to be different because I don't know if there's hope at the end of the tunnel. But I feel like every year Timbers fans in the first month of the season are like, we suck. Our team's terrible. We're probably going to fire our manager. We're not doing anything. And then you look up at the end of the year and you're like, hey, we're in the conference finals. It just seems like that happens a lot. I know it's not every season, but they do get a handful of years like that. Oregon recruiting tends to follow the same thing for a chunk of fans every year, where there's a period in the spring to early summer where there's like a bit of a panic and a bit of a freak out of like, wait, why did this guy go to USC? Why did this guy go to Washington? Why are we outside the top 10? And then yesterday, Oregon adds a couple of guys. The only ones with better recruiting classes right now are Texas A&M and Notre Dame. A&M's class is awesome. Notre Dame's class is solid. They're just ahead of Miami with a couple of more commits. Texas is in the top 5. Oklahoma, Ohio State a little bit further down, although this has to do with, the number of commits that you have always impacts where your overall ranking is going to be. And this is there's a couple angles of this segment that I wanted to get to. One of them being, like, I go through this a lot with buddies who are Duck fans, and the idea of this is such an important year for Oregon because of everything they're returning and their defensive line, and Dante Moore comes back for another year. And there seems to be a lot of eggs in the basket. And this is the one thing that I continue to tell people. And if Oregon doesn't win it, I know what the reaction will be, right? Like, I know what the text that I'm going to get from people who hate Oregon, who make fun of me. And that's, to the victor go the spoils. And also from the buddies who I have, or, friends of mine from college, from Oregon, who will have that panic mode of, this is the reason why on any given result, like, you want to ask questions about how did this happen? Why did we lose? How do we get better? All of that is valid. I don't have this disaster panic every time they lose a big game because of this. Like, this is the difference of Oregon football now than where it was 15 to 20 years ago, where you would have a season with Dennis Dixon, or you'd have a season with Darren Thomas, or you'd have a season with somebody, and you would say, man, we were close to winning a title. It felt like everything was in on that year. And then that season would end, and you'd be like, all right, now we're back to going 8-4, 9-3 next year. And that wasn't the case with Chip, but the point just simply being, you're bringing in talent at such a different level now that when you stack up however many, top 5 recruiting classes now Oregon has in a row, and now destined for another one with a legitimate shot at having the number 1 recruiting class in the country for 2027, you're not going to go anywhere. And so there will be years where you're more experienced. There will be years where the strength of your team is maybe more fitting to winning one of those big games. There's always years that you want to capitalize on. I get it. But the reality of Oregon football is they're a machine in that regard. And I remember making this argument last offseason, because if you go back a year ago, Oregon was returning 3 or 4 total starters. Like, that was it. We didn't know how good Dante Moore was going to be. He was bad at UCLA, transferred in, sat for a year, didn't play. There were a lot of question marks. And I remember saying last summer that, like, we got to stop talking about Oregon in this way of, like, there's going to be a significant drop-off. They've recruited at such a high level and are so good at the portal and plugging and playing guys that they need that there's just, some years you're 10-2 and you don't have you're not one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the country. But by and large, over the last handful of years with Lanning, they have been one of the 5 best teams in the sport and had a legitimate shot. Now, it's ended terribly, and you got to figure out your rematch problem, because that certainly is an issue for him. It's just a reminder of, like, remember when people a month ago were freaking out, Oregon fan? You're going to be all right. You got the 3rd overall recruiting class in the country. You're going to be okay. The other angle of it is, and we could even connect this a little bit to BYU, because I think, where is BYU? They're just outside the top 25, I thought, in recruiting classes. But there is an idea of West Coast football that we're trying to keep alive with the old Pac-12 dying. And it's interesting. Like, Oregon's 3rd right now in 2027 rankings. Scroll down a little bit. USC, who's been good on the trail, they have far fewer commits for next year's class because they signed like 800 kids in last year's class. They only have 14 commits, but with those 14 commits, they're the 14th ranked recruiting class in the country. Bob Chesney down at UCLA has done a great job. They're 16th in the country. Cal, who I know it's different because they're in the ACC, but they're in the top 25 with Tosh Sapoy. And then Washington, after getting that interior offensive lineman, is just inside the top 25. And so you got 5 or 6 schools that are in the top 25. That kind of stuff's encouraging to see, because it's usually a list dominated by the usual components, and not that a top 25 class is rare for Washington. It's just, I don't know. Having meaningful games and competitive games between West Coast teams is something that I think will help the transition a little bit in terms of feeling more normal. USC should get there with their recruiting class last year, although, their window's open. We'll see how it goes. Jed Fish has shown an ability to recruit. I still think you need to see more from him in the bigger games of the season. Like, I don't know how many, as I look through his career at Arizona, there's a lot of near misses that stand out to me of like at Arizona, they almost beat USC one year. Like, he's been competitive in some of the bigger games. They beat Michigan a couple of years ago off of their national title run, but that Michigan team was not good and they couldn't throw a forward pass. And so you're looking for one of those like feather in the cap wins. And Lanning had that early in his career at Oregon. He was waiting for one of those, lost to his rivals, and then he beat Ohio State, and you're like, okay, there's a big one. Rematch didn't go great, but he got one of those marquee wins and showed that he could do it. That's the next step for Jed Fish, but nice to see the recruiting pick up on the West Coast. Are you excited, BYU Brandon, for BYU this year? Is this the year? Especially with Texas Tech not having a quarterback?
Yeah.
Potentially?
I mean,
Big 12 seems
that
open.
definitely opens the door because that was our door slammed in our face twice last year. Very excited. Bears back. Going to be year number 2.
He should take a big step, I would imagine.
I think so too. We've had a good recruiting offseason. Kalani's going to figure out how to plug and play guys. It's exciting, especially coming off the last, just it's kind of the same with Oregon getting to the national championship. For BYU,
right.
It's just getting into the playoff.
You're right there.
And we've had that door slammed in our face twice now. So I think this is the year we actually get up into that place. It's just hard because we know that you can't really have a slip up. Like you've got for someone like BYU, you've got to win all your games, unfortunately, and that's kind of going to have to be the mindset again this year. But it's another solid team. This time we're not under the radar. I think a lot of eyeballs are on us now in the Big 12, and so it's not going to be fly on the radar like we've been the last 2 years. So very excited. It's going to be exciting, and kind of what you said earlier. It's trying to get the West Coast college football powers back into the mix because, trying to remember the last time a West Coast team, probably since USC in the mid 2000s, that's probably the last time
to win a national championship. USC to the Oklahoma game, probably what is that? 05, 04 was the last time that the West Coast team won the national title.
So it's been a minute, and it's kind of been hard to kind of get in the mix with the SECs and the Big Tens. Yeah. So it's exciting for both sides, and for me, kind of being on, I kind of step on each platform with BYU and then with Oregon working here. Like both of those teams are very, it deserves to be optimistic.
Absolutely, dude.
The ceiling is high for both of those sides.
Well, and then the other thing too, you add in on both rosters and teams going into next year is the component of the loyal coach, right? And Satake got flirted with a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm so glad he didn't make that move. That would have been Penn State and Kalani Satake that would have been
weird.
That's oil and water to me. Not to say that you couldn't be successful there, and it's not always about culture and that kind. I get it. BYU just makes sense. Like that's where you're supposed to be. Yeah. And there might be a bigger job that he jumps to at some other point, but getting those guys to kind of look around and then say, you know what? No, I got a good thing going here, man. Like look at what BYU's done the last 2 years. They started a freshman at quarterback last year. They went 11-1 in the regular season. The only team they lost to was Texas Tech. They just lost to them twice. Right. I think it was almost the same score, identical both times. BYU is fascinating because they have been so good the last 2 years. And to your point, it almost feels like the same. Like each year, it's like, wait, why are we punishing BYU for losing that game? Shouldn't they be in the playoff conversation? Like, it was funny, I remember last year with the conference championship thing, and that's a debate we have about, should we get rid of the game? What's the purpose of the game anymore? And should they just be playing opportunities? And I would prefer that. I think conference championships used to mean something, and now in an expanded playoff, you win one, that's great. I can certainly tell you, winning a Big Ten title didn't matter squat to me because of the way they lost to Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, right? Like, that was cool in the moment, and then you're like, well, that season ended. I don't care about the conference championship anymore. So they've lost a little bit of their weight out there. I just remember laughing out loud. Alabama got drilled in the SEC title game, just smoked by Georgia, drug up and down the field, dominated in the rematch of their game. And they didn't move a lick in the rankings. And BYU, who was 11-1, had only one loss to Texas Tech, who was undefeated, played Texas Tech again, lost the game, competitive in the first half, got away in the second half, and they dropped like 2 spots in the rankings. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought the loss isn't supposed to count here. So Alabama's not punished, but BYU's punished, and that's BYU it should be very frustrated with the way they've been treated the last couple of years because they had a strong argument 2 years ago. They certainly had a strong argument last year. being a 11-1 regular season with a conference loss. The unique thing, by the way, for you guys in the Big 12 this year, you don't play Texas Tech in the regular season.
I know.
So that I don't know if you're going to run the table or not, but it gives you the idea of you might have.
Again, the door is open again. So
you got to show. You guys got Notre Dame at home too, by the way, this year.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Talk about a big game, middle of October. See, doesn't it just get your juices going? You get excited. I can't wait.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait.
Good stuff.
Happy college football early release day to everybody out there. Can't wait to dive into that later this afternoon and this evening. Where am I going? Road to glory? I don't know. I got to decide. Got to pick my finalists. We'll wait and see. Let's nerd it out. Let's get back into the World Cup a little bit. We'll get to the Magic Hat coming up top of the hour. Got some audio for the Magic Hat, but some lingering takeaways from the World Cup, the ratings that have come in from some of the other games, and also a bit of a peekaboo into what's to come this upcoming weekend, because the slate's only going to continue to get better. So we'll dive back into some footy football next on The Fan. I felt good to talk some college football there. By the way, shout out to the Cougs. This week they announced, I'm going to make sure I get the tribe right. I got it in my notes. Hold on. Give me a moment. Scrolling. The Confederated Tribes of the Colville Reservation. They're doing the jersey patch sponsorship on Washington State football jerseys this year. And I believe, if I read correctly, they're bringing in about $8.5 million from that over the next 3 years, if my numbers are correct. So, wow. Dude, every penny helps, man, no matter where you're at. So that was really cool to see for Washington State. Exciting. You got a nice sponsorship there and bringing in a little more dough, Ray. A couple quick thoughts, and then we'll get back into the World Cup. Oregon's killing it again on the recruiting trail. Pains me to admit, however, I noticed that their blue chip ratio has dipped a little bit from where it has been. Have twice as many 3-star recruits as they had in all of last year's class. I don't know if that's an indication of anything, just an interesting outlier. That certainly, I mean, I think all of this is you look at through the lens of how many of those 3-star guys, first off, get upgraded, right, as the recruiting class goes on for next year, because I know there's some kids that they feel very confident that will become 4-star kids, and they're kind of, like Sprague's got a buddy, or his nephew's got a buddy who plays at Nelson. He just committed to Oregon. He's currently a 3-star recruit. He's one of those guys that's been under the radar a little bit, and they think with the big year will take a jump, so there's part of that. There's also part of it of like sometimes you just need volume in a recruiting class because they returned a lot of guys to last year's team who will be graduating and going on to the NFL. And so you need a few extra bodies there to kind of fill some of those holes. And so you're digging deeper into the depth of your recruiting class potentially. So interesting tidbits. We got Husky fans talking trash. I'd be more worried about not going 0-3 with Jed Fish against Dan Lanning, but you do you, boo. Okay? Keep holding your quarterback hostage. Maybe this is the year it works out for you. World Cup fever. I saw this. And it blew me away. And I think it sums up how bad they've been historically and how cool this moment is. Now, I'm hoping I'm going to say the name right. Mauricio Pochettino? Is that how you say his last name? The manager?
Close enough.
Close enough. We'll allow it. Did you know after yesterday, he has more World Cup wins than any other United States coach in the history of the World Cup?
I saw that, yeah.
What? Excuse me? Hey, what's up, Pat? You want to come in, Patrick? You can come crosstalk if you want, buddy. Patrick is here early. He wants to get his soccer takes off. I was texting him last night. I felt bad about Pat. He went to a movie the other night. We talked about something when I left, and then he texted me something from the movie, and I totally forgot the reference, and I was like, I didn't respond to it because I was out of it at that point in the night, and I didn't respond to him, so I felt bad. So I owe him one. He is the crosstalk king himself, Mr. Footy himself. Patrick Harris in the building, ladies and gentlemen. My footy guy. USA, USA, USA. Should my mind be blown that the fact that this guy has coached 4 World Cup games, 4. He's coached 4 World Cup games, and he is already the winningest manager in World Cup history. How is it possible, one, that could be the case, and 2, how have we been that in? I mean, I know we've been bad. That just blew me away. So Bruce Arena, in his entire time coaching the USA team, won 2 games. Robert Miller, never heard of him, 2. Bob Bradley, 2. Berhalter, wasn't he the one that everybody hated? 1.
Yes.
Klinsmann, 1. Some other guy I've never heard of, 1. And William Jeffrey, 1. That blew me away. But I got to tell you, buddy, I'm watching it last night. I'm texting you about red cards. I don't know what's going on. Doesn't intent matter? I'm confused by this. I got footy fever right now.
I did not have my phone buzzed, and I looked down, and it said Andy Johnson. I was like,
oh, something going on right
now. Is everything okay?
Am I all right?
Why is this guy texting me right now? Well, let me tell you about Russell Crowe. I mean Mauricio Pochettino.
Dude, he is such a good-looking guy.
He is a good-looking
He is a good-looking cat.
Well,
I like his vibe.
For the longest time, he didn't have long hair. He was like a trimmed, not a buzz cut, but not the flowing locks. Then he got the flowing locks. He's Argentinian, so he's naturally gifted with it.
Yeah.
Then he got the flowing locks, and now he looks like Russell Crowe.
He does absolutely.
But kind of a sexy Russell Crowe.
He does, yeah. Like a little bit of a younger version of Russell Crowe, a little less wear and tear on the face and the body, maybe. Mm-hmm. And it's a perfect setup for when we win the World Cup and they make the Miracle movie 5 years from now.
We were laughing about that last night.
We already know who's going to play him. Like, you already have made the hire.
Easy.
You're done. It's
Easy.
written for you. Russell Crowe, come on down.
He probably doesn't have to, body change a whole lot either.
He's a little hefty.
Like, Russell Crowe will go
big.
super skinny and jacked or super fat, to play Dick Cheney or something like that. Whatever he does, he's great that way. He can kind of be cool and not have to deal with it.
So explain to me how Balogun gets a red card in that moment.
I can't.
I don't know, squat when it comes to soccer. And the only thing that my mind went to was like targeting in football, where there's like, we know when we see targeting, it's like, ooh, that was a spear. Get that guy out of there. And then like, oh, their heads bumped together. Why? What? And so I figured intent would be a bigger part. Also considering the punishment of getting tossed, like now he's out for the next game against Belgium. That is a massive decision. Yellow card, I think I'm fine with, but the red card and then the Bosnia coach losing his ass, grabbing the ball. Like, dude, we were playing a man down on a bogus call. Put the ball back and play. Let's go. That seemed pretty bogus last night.
Very, very strange situation. You see this too when it comes to like targeting, like as you mentioned, NFL or college football. When you slow things down, it is always going to look worse or better.
Yeah.
And I thought when you slowed it down, it proved little to no intent.
Right.
He's leaning to his left. He's trying to find his footing on his right. He can't see the back of the guy's leg. There's no way he's intentionally doing it.
No.
When you saw it real time, you're like, oh, that stinks. Probably a yellow card, but I don't think he meant it. But when you
hurt like hell.
But when you slow it down, you see the cleats drag across the calf, step on the ankle, it twists. It looks really ugly.
Yeah, it's gnarly
when you slow it down. And that's why they gave him the red card. I thought it was really brutal. I thought the penalty that was given in the Belgium-Senegal game was really brutal, too.
Yeah.
See, the thing is at the World Cup is they try desperately not to give you red cards.
Because of the punishment of it and what it means.
They really don't want to do that because it changes a game so dramatically. And you saw that. USA was dominating in possession yesterday. The second they got that red card, it completely flipped instantly. Naturally, you're playing down a man.
Right.
Which is why they should be very hesitant to give red cards. And that one, they sent the ref to the monitor, which always concerns me because that means VAR goes,
we see something here.
We see something, and you need to take a peek at this. And when he went over there, I was like, oh, my God, he's getting a red card. And it's not just because I'm a USA fan. It's the intent.
Yes.
But when you slow it down, it's ugly.
Yeah, I feel. Look, there's no doubt.
It's the worst foul I've seen in the World Cup.
It was gnarly,
outside of the broken leg for Canada.
Oh, a guy in Canada broke his leg.
Like air cast. He was like ripping on something that looked like a vape pen, and I swear it's like Novocaine or
Give me something, dude.
I thought he was just getting high.
Okay, I feel better now. Put the cast on.
The full air cast, and he's just like waving to the fans, all smiling.
I missed that part. That's hilarious.
Outside of that one, it was it's a bad foul. But again, there's no intent.
Yes, like it's just going to happen when you're running around. You're going to step on somebody. And it's only bound to happen.
I think what sucks the most about it is Flo was the best player on the pitch last night. And he's been so solid for USA just in general.
Damn near had 2 goals last night.
That creation up front from him has been so good, so electric. And America's kind of missed an electric forward like that since maybe Josie Altidore. Say what you want about Josie, but Flo is awesome.
Yeah.
And now he's out against Belgium. Now, I still like America's chances against Belgium. I think they have been one of the more underperforming teams in the tournament.
I mean, talk about a team that should not have won yesterday. That was a miracle yesterday.
They look old and slow to me. They're the same guys they were 10 years ago, and it's 10 years later. It's just father time catches up to you. So I think they'll be fine without Balogun. It just stinks because that's creation.
Yeah.
But one thing that I love about Maurice Pochettino yesterday, which I thought he was a big reason why that game was won and stayed 1-0 and then eventually 2-0, he plays a back three. And a lot of the reason he plays a back three is because America doesn't have the talent to play a back four. And a lot of times managers in the past, when a situation like that would have happened where you go down a man, they would have changed schematically.
Kind of panic, like,
we
got to hold on.
It's like, okay, this man-to-man's not working anymore. We got to go zone. And Pochettino stuck to it. He said, we're going to stick with what our game plan is, 3 in the back, 5 in the midfield, and instead of 2 up front, we'll just go 1. We lose that offensive opportunity, but we stay true to our identity.
Right.
And I thought that was massive. And guys like Berhalter and Klinsmann and Arena would have all panicked and changed. And he said, nope, this is what we do. I'm sticking with it. And it paid off.
They almost got another goal, too. Pulisic almost had one, too. That got overturned because of an offsides call. So,
and he had that down a man, which makes me think, okay, we're going to be okay.
Right. Let me ask you 2 questions on this.
Sure.
So, as somebody who is not, this is new for me, right?
Right.
Imagine you're living in the world where it was like me during the Winter Olympics of like, people are talking about hockey, dude. This is cool, man. You guys want to talk about more about hockey? Can I do more hockey?
You don't want to get too excited.
Right.
Everybody stay calm.
You want to talk about you want to talk about hockey with me? Yeah, dude, I'd love to talk about hockey
Dude,
with
I
you.
blew like 5 stop signs to get here.
Just to get it on time. Where does Malik Tillman's goal rank amongst all-time World Cup goals? And I know that we have gotten out of the knockout round before. The last time was in 2002. So it was a very long time ago. We were playing the fun game of what were you doing in 2002.
Watching that live at Hudson's Bay High School.
There you go. Considering it's on home soil and the momentum that has been built from this run, Was that the biggest World Cup win in men's soccer history?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I think one thing you have to keep in context is the expansion of the field creates an extra round.
That's fair.
So when you see things like Norway wins their first knockout game in country's history, it's like, right, because they've never won a round of 16 game.
Mexico hadn't done it in, 40 years, right? When they won the other night?
Now you have a round of 32 game, which kind of gives you a little run-up. And if you win your group, in theory, you should win that knockout
stage. Should get a
stage.
favorable matchup, and they take advantage of it.
A Netherlands-Morocco matchup is brutal for the Dutch.
Yeah.
And that is going to happen in the World Cup. I would say if USA wins in the round of 16, that will be the biggest.
So the Belgium win on Monday, if they win,
yes,
will be number one. Okay.
I think this is about as equal as the Mexico win.
Okay. What about the Tillman goal? Because that felt
in
like
American history,
that felt like a touch of class that we don't usually, historically speaking, don't have guys that can pull that off. That was awesome.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
As far as importance, TBD.
Okay.
TBD.
Depending on how far the run goes.
Team was already up 1-0.
That's true. But man down late in the game. Yeah, okay.
Banger of a goal. To your point, USA doesn't have guys that take free kicks like that.
No, that felt like, am I speaking Portuguese now? What, am I in a different country?
The guys that make those kicks play for countries that have stars.
That was kind of my takeaway. All right. Hey, last one for you.
Shoot.
House money? Monday night house money? Or do we got to win Monday night?
No, you got to win.
Got to win Monday night.
I thought Brandon mentioned something a couple weeks ago. I think it might have been last week. He said something. You guys were talking about ceiling and floor.
Yeah.
The ceiling and floor for this team is the round of 16.
Okay. And we've reached our ceiling and floor.
I think if you get to the round of 16, you should get to the round of 16. Like, that's the floor.
Yeah.
And if you lose in the round of 16, I'm kind of okay with it because you could run into a Spain or a Portugal.
Okay.
And if America loses to a Spain or a Portugal in the round of 16, I'm not going to be super beat up about that.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
And if you get out of that, you get like France. So, I mean, like, buckle up, guys. Like, have a blast. Okay.
Not getting any easier for me.
Yes. So, house money.
Is that like playing Indiana for a second time in the Peach Bowl? Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
A little bit like that.
Uh-oh.
So, you feel good. I think playing against Belgium is house money in the sense that you don't need to panic. This should be okay.
Okay.
However, you have to win that game.
What's the number from last night's game going to be? 35 million? 40 million?
What was the
Australia
game?
Australia, the last one that they lost to Turkey, I think ended up somewhere in the high 20s, but that was also a game that didn't really matter.
Backups.
Right, backups, some of the key guys not in. I think
I'll lean 40. Yeah.
You're going to lean towards 40? Yeah, it's going to be a huge... Dude, that scene, the
Belgium,
setting...
Belgium will be 50 million. Seattle
Easily.
has cemented themselves as base
Easily.
camp for Team USA.
Yeah.
That is the best crowd that USA has seen at the World Cup.
That
is in
atmosphere,
Seattle.
too.
Which is crazy. You would think LA, you would think the Bay Area. I mean, the Bay Area sucks in terms of
Dude, we
trying
care
to
more
create a
about
fan fest.
soccer in the Northwest, though, than they do.
But Seattle, I mean, I hate those Flounders up there, but they all turned out for old Estados Unidos.
Can we not do another joke from the Timbers on the stadium stuff? That didn't age very well.
It did
for
not.
us. That
No,
did not.
It did not.
And probably not.
I mean, I love Providence Park.
I
but
do too. It's
USA at Lumen. I mean Seattle Stadium.
Thank you. Seattle Stadium.
Seattle Stadium.
All right.
That's a good sight.
What do you got coming up on the show today?
I think somebody got traded in the NBA.
Who? What? No.
No,
Did we get him?
yeah.
Did we get him?
No.
Oh, must have been a big package though to go get him.
Must have been huge.
Had to have been 5 first-round picks probably.
Huge,
like
huge.
4 players out of our price range.
We'll get into Jaylen Brown. We'll also get into what it means for the Blazers as well. And we're gonna scream about Moda Center too.
Yes, let's do it, dude.
And USA.
Blazer Bingo and USA. I love it. Good. Thanks for stopping by.
Always, buddy.
Patrick Harris of the Firm. It is the final hour, and we are here next on the Fam.
on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the United States men's team won a World Cup knockout round match for the first time since 2002. They beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0 in the round of 32, despite being down to 10 men for the final 36 minutes of the match. Valerian Balogun, who scored the opening goal in the 45th minute, was sent off with a red card in the second half. Malik Tillman was the hero with a goal off a free kick in the 82nd minute to seal the win. Next up for the U.S., Belgium on Monday night. The Belgians made a miraculous comeback against Senegal, scoring 2 goals in the final 5 minutes to force extra time. It's the first time it's ever happened in the World Cup. Then they won the match 3-2 in extra time. Also, England is through to the round of 16. They rally behind 2 goals from Harry Kane to escape DR Congo 2-1. In the NBA, the 76ers won the Jaylen Brown sweepstakes. Philly traded Paul George 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks to Boston for the former Finals MVP. I'm Brendan Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Happy final hour. Happy 4th of July. Nearly everybody. You know what we did in the last hour? Just a little bit over, but that's all right. It's also led to, I was talking to Harris in the commercial break, somebody asking, is it a Freaky Friday? It is not, but it's fun. He wanted to come in and talk soccer. He wanted to come talk footy with me, man. I don't know what the hell I'm doing talking footy, but I'm riding the wave like everybody else. So he was very helpful in that regard. I also did not and totally forgot to cut out my Magic Hat topics and put them in the hat. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to change it up. We're going to do a modified Magic Hat today. How about that? Happy final hour, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hopefully you got your 4th of July plans all ready to go. You got your pork butts ready. You got your ribs ready to throw in the smoker. You got your beers picked up. It's going to be a fun weekend, fun 4th of July weekend. We'll talk a little bit more World Cup coming up to end the show tonight, or today, getting you ready for tonight, and then also some of the more interesting games going on over the weekend. But Magic Hat time, I think we just kind of go I pick one, you pick one in terms of our topics, and then we roll from there. How's that sound? You like that?
We'll start that
way, evolve it. Would you like me to go first?
Go for it.
Okay. Number one in my Magic Hat is going to be, do we like this? And the this that I'm talking about, I want to make sure I get the gal's name right. Give me a second. Oh, God. It's ABC7 in... Yeah, okay. Abigail Velez, I think is how you say her name. Abigail Velez. She works for ABC, local ABC7 in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And she was doing a World Cup hit leading into, I believe, their game against Turkey. I think that was the game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And she goes on the news. She's kind of a young-looking reporter. And this caused controversy because of the way the whole thing kind of unfolded. And do we want this in our local sports broadcasters?
Okay, and the big question tonight is whether team captain Christian Pulisic is going to start this match after being out in the last one due to a calf injury. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, hot take. No Pulisic, no problem. That's because whatever happens at tonight's match, Team USA is going to advance. That's because they had huge wins over Australia and Paraguay. So tonight is really about hanging out, having a good time, and enjoying the company. And while I'm at it, the only turkey that I'm concerned about is at Thanksgiving, honey. Team USA all the way. Come on, Team USA. Let's go. David, Giovanna, back to you.
All right, you've done some TV stuff over the years. How do we like the cheesy fandom sports reporter Abigail Velez down at LA7?
I've never been a TV news guy. That's never been part of my schedule or part of my day to sit down and watch the news. I think it's fun. I think it changes
find it fun? You think it's entertaining?
It's not boring. I think it's entertaining. I don't know if she had a drink before that live hit. But yeah, I thought she might need to transition to radio. That sounded more like a radio hit than a TV one. But yeah, no, this sounds like she's having a good old time before the game, and she's talking about having a good old time. I'm like, yeah, you look like you've already started.
You look like you're having a ball down here in Los Angeles.
I love the professionalism after she did that. She's like, oh, wait, let me do my clothes real quick.
Back to the studio. Right. As she's got it. So if you haven't seen the video, she's got a big giant American flag draped over her back. And look, it's definitely fun. I will say, now, Nick Krupke's our guy. We love Nick Krupke over at Fox. He's killing it, doing a lot of stuff with the Fire. Like his business is booming for Nick Krupke right now. I will say, though, my all-time favorite, and I hope this is a name that some people will remember, my all-time favorite local sports guy, bar none. It's not even debatable, and I don't know if the clips or the video still exist that you can go find. Charlie Minn, if you don't remember Charlie Minn back in the day, he was the local guy on Fox. I think it was Fox 12 is where he worked. And I was probably... I can't remember if I was elementary school or middle school or when his run would have ended. I think he became a filmmaker. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but his sports hits used to be legitimately like screaming about players making mistakes, like making fun of Matt Hasselbeck for throwing a pick. That's just a name I remember from him talking about. He would do hockey highlights, and all he would show was the fights. He would just here's two guys duking it out center ice. And I'll never forget one of the anchors after him look at him get on. He's like yelling as these two guys are fighting, and it's in his highlight package. And then the anchor turns to him and says, some people don't find fighting funny, and he had some great, response back. I hope there's people out there that remember Charlie Minn. So to your point, maybe people just wanted to liven it up a little bit. It's different too, I think, when you get the nationality angle behind it. Like if you're doing that on the local news and it's for a USC football game, it's like, oh, come on. First off, half the people, not half, but some in the city don't even root for them because our UCLA people are rooting for somebody else. So that can get a little tricky, but for USA, I will allow it. I do like when sports reporters give me something unique. Give me something new, and Charlie Minn certainly did that back in the day. So I'm with you. I'll allow it, but there's audio bit number one. Abigail, what was her last name? Velez. She's down in L.A., and that caused a bit of controversy last week.
I like it. All right. My first Magic hat, and I
look at you officially putting your. Look at you.
Actually, show the hat though. We actually have the hat. Love story.
Okay, what do we got?
So we alluded to it earlier because you kept guessing all my Magic hat topics today.
I did.
The Taylor Swift Travis Kelce wedding is allegedly. I don't think it's been officially announced or out there of what the day is, but according to a police officer or law official in New York City yesterday,
sources. We got sources.
The wedding will be tomorrow in Madison Square Garden, and I applaud the move. I think it's a genius move. I don't know to
get married in MSG.
Yes, I don't know what the turnout is supposed to be. If this is are they selling tickets for this? Are they having fans outside the arena and picking the first 1,000 fans or whatever to come in and watch the wedding? But I think it's a baller move from someone that basically runs the music industry these days.
Have you seen
that happen?
So I've been like, these things keep popping up. You can't avoid it right now. Like she's such a big deal that it's in every news channel or Twitter headline. Like every time you scroll, you're going to find something.
Right. Some
of the details. So there was a picture of or a video from Variety of a grand piano getting wheeled into MSG. There's videos of all these like drapes and different things that they need to put up just to keep people from being able to see into like the loading dock of MSG. Like that's a very populated area. You're not like out in the middle of nowhere. Do this at the Moda Center. It's a little bit more simple to go down, load stuff into the back of the Moda Center. It's a little simpler. One of the other things, then this was on, where did I see this? TMZ had this a couple days ago. They are this is exclusive. TMZ report exclusive. Building a huge, giant castle inside MSG for the wedding ceremony. Now, baller move to be able to do it. I will agree with you there. There's also an aspect of, now, I don't know, are they going to film this thing? Like, is this going to be like an Amazon special
I feel like
documentary?
It's going to be on Disney Plus in 3 months.
It feels like it's just becoming a Taylor Swift concert. Like, is she going to perform at her own wedding? Is that what we're going to get?
Yes.
And look, to each their own. Love is love, I guess. If I'm one of these famous people getting married, I would want a wedding that is so out of sight, out of mind, like off of the grid, out in the middle of nowhere, Paparazzi can't be there. Trying to get in and out of MSG before and after a wedding, like you're in the most populated city. Like this is not certainly the way that I would go about doing it. Building a castle inside of MSG for your wedding gives me some weird vibes, dude. I had a cousin who got married a long time ago. And unfortunately for her, the marriage didn't last very long. And it was one of those at the wedding, everybody kind of knew, like, this is not going to. But you're there, you love your family. And so, we were there to support. And she had like a princess theme to her wedding. Mm-hmm. And I remember that just felt kind of weird. I don't know why, but I just was a little uncomfortable by that. And that's the vibe I'm getting here of like, if you're building a castle inside Madison Square Garden for a wedding, you're taking this a little too seriously. Let's just go get hitched and move on here. I know they're not going to do that, but would you go if you were invited? If you were on the guest list, would you want to be at MSG tomorrow?
Sure, why not? I mean,
go see history.
It's almost like Game 4 of the finals all over again in that area.
What would be a more expensive ticket if they could sell? Would it be Taylor Swift or New York Knicks Game 4 of the NBA Finals?
I mean, they're already setting up fences around MSG just like they did for those finals games. Jalen Brunson and the Knicks starting lineup are reportedly invited to the wedding. Like, this is going to be.
They invited all the Knicks to the wedding?
The Knicks starting lineup. And
why are
Jalen
the Knicks
Brunson
starting? Are they close? What is the reasoning for that? Just because it's at MSG?
Maybe it was a thank you for having her in the front row for Game 4. I don't know, but it is something. They got like trucks, like Krispy Kreme trucks rolling around the stadium. Like, it's gonna be an event. So yes, I would love to see what this castle inside the stadium looks like.
You want to see is she gonna be like Rapunzel, putting her hair down, like climbing down? Is like Kelsey got to climb up with the hair? Like, what are we doing here, man? Is it a fairy tale? It is tomorrow. That's a big deal. It's a big deal, and I'm with you. That thing will be on ESPN Plus in like 5 weeks. They're gonna charge you $5.99 to watch, and they're gonna make $1 billion out of it. Number 2 up for me is the Derby, and the Derby being. I don't know if you were aware, the home run derby's right around the corner. Are you a big home run derby guy? Do you look forward to it every year, or just kind of, if it's on, it's on?
It's on.
Yeah, one of those.
Yep. Well,
we've talked a lot about it in years past because they have changed the format, and one of the complaints that I've had is that in the format, you don't really get to like what we used to love about the home run derby. I thought growing up was like seeing how far the balls would go. Of like, damn, he hit that one out of the stadium. And now you get there's only like a 3-minute clock, and so you just got to keep swinging and swinging and swinging. And so like a ball will be leaving the park, and then the next pitch will already be being hit, and there's just too much going on. I'm too old. I can't follow this stuff at the same time. They're changing it back. They're going to a new format this year. I also forgot it's on Netflix, so I don't know if that improves or hurts ratings. I'm not sure. 8 participants, top 4 obviously go to round 2, then so on and so forth. It is going to be 20 swings in round 1, 15 swings in the final 2 rounds, and a player who hits a home run on the last swing of any round continues until he doesn't hit a home run.
Ooh.
So your 20th swing, if you hit it out of the ballpark, you get another one. Hit that one out, you get another one.
Extra life.
And it's not pitches, it's swings. And so you want to take a couple, you can take a couple. Look, Rob Manfred, we jokingly call him the Michael Scott of sports. Like, doesn't seem to be smart, but somehow keeps getting things right. I think this is a brilliant move. I don't know if it impacts ratings at all, but as somebody who does look forward to the home run derby, it's like, hey, it's the middle of July, nothing's going on. This year is slightly different with the World Cup, but in normal years, you're in the middle of July and you're like, all right, free agency's done, draft's over, Blazers roster's set, college football's still a month and a half away. Fill my hole, home run derby. I think it's a great call, and I think people will love it, and so they're coming up with a new format. Do we like the swings per round over the time per round of the home run derby?
Yeah, I think I like that more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with time, there can be so many factors that affect how many swings you get in a certain amount of time. So I think I like swings more. It kind of puts the pressure on, kind of almost like a in-game scenario where you only get one swing or only get like one good swing to put it into the fences. I don't think it can hurt. I don't think it can hurt ratings. I feel like the only watchable thing during All-Star Weekend is the All-Star Game. So if you can get more eyeballs and change up the format like this, I think it's a good idea. I'll definitely take a look at it for sure.
Yeah, Netflix would be interesting too. Like, I know they got kind of killed. They did the opening night game, Yankees and Giants, which in hindsight, why the hell did you put my team on opening night?
They didn't know yet.
That was a mistake. And they got kind of killed. Home run derby is obviously different. It's more fun. So I'll be curious like who's all involved in it and who's on the broadcast and stuff. But I think it's a great idea. Somebody said they should have a metal bat round for the derby. I That's a brilliant idea.
I kind of like that one too. It's
a
like,
warm-up metal bat round.
It's like a Super Smash Bros. Thing where you get a power-up with the metal bat for one swing.
Would be a lot of fun to see
like
that. I'm all in. That's a brilliant idea. That's the next step. That's how we take it to the next step. A little bit more Magic Hat next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Update Edition, Junior Caminero of the Rays is also laying wood this past week. He smoked another home run yesterday in a 4-0 win over the Royals. It's his 6th straight game with a homer. It's the first time that's happened in 2 years. He's also the youngest to do it since Mariner fans, Ken Griffey Jr. The most games with a home run is 8.
Yes.
Griffey did that. He's one of 3 players to ever do that.
Yep.
And he aims to go for 7 later today.
Uh-huh.
Probably going to be in the home run derby.
Give him a metal bat. Now I'm even more excited.
Yeah.
Take away from the segment. How about I throw a couple of animal facts at you because Sprague's not here today. Vultures will urinate on their own legs to cool down in hot weather, and it kills lingering bacteria and parasites.
Weird.
Works. And the honey that you get from like the beehive honey, it does not expire.
Yeah.
Which kind of blows me away. Like never. 50 years.
Pretty great.
75 years. Leave it out. Really? It's still, I guess, all right. It doesn't expire. Go eat that honey.
That's the update from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Desk.
A little more magic hat for you on a Thursday. I'm an idiot and I forgot to write my things down and put them in the hat. Also, I got distracted, so it's not all my fault. Let's blame other people for our problems. I'm going to throw a late submission in here because I just saw this come across the wire. Do we like this? How about that? That's what the phrasing will be. The NBA, so the Summer League's right around the corner. Starts what? Sometime in July. I think the Blazers released their schedule.
Yep.
We get young Hansen in Summer League again.
Probably the only time he'll actually play.
Will we overreact to young Hansen's Summer League highlights?
I hope not.
I know us. I know we
probably will.
I know we will. That first time he has a nice dime or hits a 3.
Exactly.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, he's going to be great.
At Summer League, they are testing a 1 free throw rule.
1 counting for 2.
So the gist of this is, with this rule, any foul that would typically result in 1, 2, or 3 free throws will instead just result in 1 free throw attempt. That attempt will be worth the same total number of points as the free throws it replaces.
Didn't they used to do that?
Did they? Is that the thing that happened back in the day?
I feel like what I've heard from people that are older than me.
Yeah, the old heads
once
will say,
upon a time, that was a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So 1 free throw would equal
1 free
2?
throw counts however many points you were going to have with that foul.
So according to this, the G League, I mean, I don't watch any G League basketball. They have been using this since 2019 to improve the flow of the game. So they've tested it at that level. We've seen Major League Baseball do this, like the pitch clock stuff. You test it in the minors, see how it works, throw it into a spring training, does it work? And now you implement it in a game. I don't know how I feel about this. I just that seems like, to have 1 free throw count for the entire thing. So if you get a good free throw shooter, you could have a good free throw shooter be 85%, 80-something%, and you foul them shooting a 3 and they miss the first free throw.
Right.
They're almost guaranteed automatically to make the next 2. And you're just I feel like you're taking points off the board.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a head scratcher one for me. I don't feel the problem, in my opinion, with the NBA flow is not necessarily the time that free throws take. The biggest problem the NBA faces is too aggressive of a whistle, so there's too many stoppages.
Yep.
And then letting teams hold on like life support to timeouts towards the end of the game.
Yep.
And when you get into that last 2 minutes and it's a 1 or 2 possession game, I mean, how many? All right, here we go. Free throw, timeout. Okay, go back to the other end. All right, now they're going to foul. Free throw, okay, timeout. Okay, back to the. It feels like sometimes the last 90 seconds of a basketball game can take 25 minutes, and that's frustrating. To me, it's honestly, now, last night, not a great example to use, because they put 10 minutes of stoppage time in for the USA game.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest selling points for me of somebody who doesn't watch a lot of soccer. Whenever I watch soccer, of like, here's the game, and yeah, there's going to be guys that lay down a little bit too long and try and milk the clock, and you're going to get your stoppage time at the end of it, so it's not directly 90 minutes every time. but I have a general idea of here's when it starts, here's when it ends. In the NBA, man, you could be watching a game and there's 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you're like, all right, this thing should be wrapped up in like 10 minutes or so. And no, that's not happening. That thing's going to drag on like hell. And so that if your fear is essentially flow of the game and ending games in a more timely manner, to me, that's a bigger deal. Allowing so many lengthy timeouts. Why do we need a media break every time we get a late timeout? I felt this way in the NBA Finals, dude. I think it's egregious, and I get that money's the end-all, be-all for these networks. But I remember as the Knicks are like closing out their finals, and this is this historic moment, we're getting these final 30 seconds of the game to unfold. And every time they took a commercial, it was like a full TV timeout. And it's like, okay, here, Brunson hits a big shot and timeout. Let's go wait for 2 minutes. And then the second you get back, inbound the ball. And it's just like, can we let the moment breathe? Can we just have a minute here to enjoy what's going on? So that to me is a bigger deal. Will they implement this in an actual regular season game? I don't know, but they're going to. This will be interesting in Summer League, man. So one free throw will count for 2 or 3, depending on how many attempts you would have gotten. And if you make the first free throw, you get all of the points involved.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for Summer League because you're not really there for them to see them shoot free throws. You're there to see them actually play.
Totally agree.
The actual flow of the game. I mean, if they really wanted to implement it, I can see this just being happens up to like 2 minutes left in each quarter or 2 minutes left at the end of each half.
There's a bit of like a hacking rule that goes along with that, isn't there? Where it's like you can, if you foul intentionally in certain spots, like it's okay, but in the last 2 minutes you can't do it.
Yeah, interesting. I like it for Summer League because it's kind of meaningless basketball. You're just there to watch your prospects play.
That is a fair point.
I don't see this getting implemented in the NBA, no matter how successful they think it is. Because it's not like there's not a speed problem as far as the entirety of the game. It's just those crunch time final 5 minutes that the timeouts pile up. So cool idea.
Yeah.
Don't think it'll stick.
G League and Summer League, I'm with you. Like if I'm there, I'm just, can our young guy look competent on a floor? That's all I care about. I don't need to see him shoot free throws.
See him shoot free throws.
That's totally valid.
Save that for practice.
What else you got in the Magic hat?
All right. Discs be damned.
Discs be damned.
Yes. So again, happy College Football 27 to all who celebrate.
Did you do it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I
Okay.
think should be over this holiday weekend, maybe a little into next week.
What was it? Was it a hard convincing? Was it a sell job? Is there like a trade-off? You got to do something in order to get this payoff? What's the negotiation been like?
I have not notified the wife yet, so it's just been a personal plan, and then I will maybe bring it to the table once the payment is about to be made.
Okay, so you're going to tell her before you buy it or after you buy it?
I want to be good and tell her before.
Yeah.
But I'm not totally set on
that. Hey, this is how I book tea times. I book tea times, and I'm hey, by the way, can I play on Friday? Like, these things are scarce out here, man. If you get a good time, you got to grab them, and then, you grab it. Hey, babe, by the way, Friday at noon. Does that work? Yeah, sure. Okay, sounds good.
So PlayStation came out with news yesterday that they are no longer going to sell physical discs for video games. For new video games, starting in January of 2028. So the disc era of video games is going to be over, at least for PlayStation. But I can see this trending with Xbox and the other
RIP
consoles.
Man.
Yeah, it's just sad. I mean, I guess to be fair, like digital's kind of becoming the new wave of video games. You just buy them online, but almost 90% of game sales are already digital.
Yes,
but it's a nostalgia thing for me, probably for you, for people that grew up transitioning from the docks to the discs.
Yes,
that's kind of a big deal, and it also takes out the whole secondhand ownership type of deal where you can just
resell your games,
for sports games.
Yes,
when you're buying every year of NBA of 2K or NBA or every year of Madden,
right?
Usually you would go trade that in to put some money in towards the new one,
right?
And now you can't do that anymore. So I think maybe this generation has already accepted that, but for me that was kind of part of my dealings with games, especially sports games. It's a bit sad.
Yeah.
And I always will remember discs as blowing on them and throwing it into the drive and pray that it'll start spinning and working.
There's not something on the backside of it.
So it's just good times. It's hard to see that transition happen, but it's just, again, kind of like what you said earlier, money kind of runs this world at some point, and I think they just feel like, well, we're just going to take away the ownership. We're just going to control what we can control with video games. So that's hard. It was hard
I'm
to see.
with there. I'm with you 100%. I don't play a ton of video games or like buy a lot of games. Sports mainly, and college football coming back was the driving force for me getting a new console because I grew up playing that game and I loved it and I played it religiously and I'm like, I got to dip my toes back in this.
Right.
And it's been a weird adjustment being, out of the video game biz and then getting back into it with the PS5 of like all of it is digital. Like every game that you buy is just, and then it's just on your console. And so there's a benefit in that regard of like, I was always the lazy ass who would put the game in the wrong cover because you take one game out and you put it in the act cover and then you're like, where the hell did my, and then you're like opening up. So that was a bit of a pain in the butt. But to your point, and I feel this way now more aggressively in this topic, but this is the way I feel about sports tickets. I hate that we've lost the physical ticket.
Yeah.
Because it was something that, and I still have a ton of them from my life, of a Blazer game that I remember going to with my dad, or there's little moments in games you go to and you have that physical ticket, you hold on to it. I have it for comedy shows. I have it for movies, like things that you remember doing, and it's like a commemorative thing that you can hold on to. Mm-hmm. That was a thought that I had, honestly, because one of the things I wasn't sure if I was going to buy this year's game with a kid on the way in October, and I'm like, right. I know come October, that ain't happening. And I'm like, well, we got a few months till October comes around, so maybe we'll capitalize. But the other part of it that made me want to do it was that Dante Moore's on the cover. And that's like when Joey was on the cover, it was a big deal when I was a kid of like an Oregon Duck is on the cover of NCAA football. It was really cool. And so I had that thought of, now I bought the game digitally, so I'm not even taking advantage of it. But if I wanted to buy the physical cover to have that as a keepsake, if they go away, it just sucks to not have that possibility.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there. Like having the things you commemoratively have. But I get it from a business standpoint. If so many people buy the digital copy of it, what's the cost benefit of actually making the game? It just... Sometimes when everything's digital, you do get a little fuddy-duddy of like, can we turn the clock back just a little bit to not have everything be this way? So I'm with you there. I did see that. Couple more quick ones for me. Let's start with the audio bit on this one.
Yep.
How uncomfortable does this make us feel? So did you listen to this when you pulled it, by the way?
I did.
Okay, yep. So I wanted to make sure the whole thing was this, because it was a New York Post, like there's a 7-minute video of this if you want to go listen to the entire thing. It goes on for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yes, this is only one, but I'm like, we're not going to play the whole thing. Not going to happen. So this is a minute of it. How uncomfortable does this make you feel?
So you're not going to care. I'm an NFL reporter, and I just broke that Sean McDermott got fired from the Bills, and that is what I was just sending a tweet. I was going to pull over because I have to make calls.
Okay.
I know you don't care, but I'm just letting you know my reason why.
Okay.
It was a work thing, and it was an emergency for what I did. Like, I'm shocked that they fired me. I cannot believe it. You know who was on the phone with?
Who?
Brian Mabel, because he lost the job.
Oh, okay.
Are you a fan of Giants or Jets?
I'm not a fan of either. So.
What is your team?
I'm a Vikings fan, unfortunately. Let's see it.
Can you see the name?
Oh my God. KOC?
Did you see what I said? Look what I said to him though just now. Go to the bottom.
Oh my God. Wow. Pretty cool.
I love the Vikings though. They're awesome. KOC's awesome.
Yeah. He seems like a good
Your
dude.
quarterback sucks though.
Yeah. So he's got to get it. He's got to fix it.
So, if you don't understand what that was, hopefully the audio comes through because it's a body cam footage from a cop. That is Diana Rossini getting pulled over by a police officer. And he walks up. There's a 7-minute video. You can go watch the whole thing if you want to. It's out there. Shout out to the reporter who dug this thing up. He walks up to the window and she immediately launches into name drop. Because he's like, I've been following you for, I can't remember how long he said, but like for like a couple of miles. You've been on your phone the entire time. Like I saw you at a red light. You're on your phone. I got behind you. You drove off, still on your phone. I followed you here to here to here, still on your phone. Here. And so she immediately pivots into, well, do you know who I was on the phone with?
Yeah.
Sean McDermott got fired. I just got the news. I was talking to Brian Daboll. And then she launches into trying to figure out who the Cops football team is so she can say something to impress him. He tells her he's a Vikings fan, and then immediately pulls up and texts Kevin O'Connell. I think in that text, he said something about like there's a cop that's a Vikings fan that just pulled me over. And he eventually lets her get out of the ticket, and she took a shot at J.J. McCarthy along the way. And I get that there's, the idea of wanting to get out of something when you've broken the law is probably a desirable thing. This is not to the equivalent of handing a trading card to a cop when you get pulled over. But, dude, like, having this stuff come out after everything she's been through, the cringy behavior to immediately go to that card after getting pulled over, it made my skin crawl. You could just tell how desperate she was to try and impress him with the number of contacts and names that she has. And, man, Diana Rossini and what her future is going to look like is certainly an interesting conversation because she'll make a comeback at some point, but I don't know about that one. That one was pretty ugly and pretty awkward. So Diana Rossini got out of a ticket, and the cop was a Vikings fan. What happened to the cop, by the way? Did anything happen there?
I'm not sure.
With the body camera footage revealed, like, she was clearly breaking the law.
Yeah.
She clearly, it wasn't a bribe, but it was like a cool name drop to get out of the ticket. Oh, you texted Kevin O'Connor. All right, fine. All right, yeah, be safe. Put your phone down.
Away.
You be safe, okay? You be safe. If you pull me over and you listen to the show, please do this to me. That would be great. If you pull me over for any reason. You know who I am? Morning Show, 105.1 The Fan. You me text Jason Swigart? I got his number right here. I could do it anytime you want. We'll wrap it up, send you off into your weekend. There's the Magic Hat every single Thursday, but it is a Thursday-Friday because it's the last show for us for the week. Tomorrow, the holiday. Last one for us next on The Fan. Okay, last one for us. Happy Thursday, everybody. You know what today's show's been? It's been
fantastic.
Just flew on by. Flew on by, man. Yes, I did see the apology on Twitter. For those asking, people have been texting. Yes, yeah, and I'm not touching it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going there. Not gonna happen. Nope.
God bless the beaver.
Thank you. Lots to close up with in the final show or in the final segment. I do have one more leftover from my Magic Hat. I apologize, but it's the 4th of July. Let's have a little bit of fun here to close out the show today. I find the topic of pooping your pants really funny. I think that's hilarious. I think picturing people pooping their pants is funny to me. How it happens. Where are you? What do you do if it happens to you? That is such a funny conundrum.
Wash your ass.
It makes me laugh out loud. And the reason I bring this up is, do you listen to Noah Kahan at all?
No.
Okay. Neither do I, but I remember Noah Kahan because his cover of Ray Charles, Georgia got used as the Masters song one year.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, you have Ray Charles.
Yeah.
It's not better than Ray Charles. Just use Ray. Anyways. But I remember, so that's the first time I remember hearing his name. I don't listen to his music. I'm sure he's fine. That's not the point. The point is, he was at a concert in Philadelphia a week ago, and he had to grab the microphone in the middle of the concert and plead with the people at his show to not poop their pants. And the reason he did that was because evidently somebody at his concert was in the middle of the crowd in front of the stage and pooped their pants. And there was poop smeared on the floor in front of the stage.
Oh, that's gross.
That then led to this widening out of the everybody slowly moves away. What the hell was that? And so he took to Twitter and he said, if you have to poop at a show, please, dear God, just go to the bathroom. And then added this. How about this TMI fact? LMAO, I've pooped my pants as much as the next 29-year-old, but you guys got to understand there's a venue worker out there with a 1,000-yard stare dealing with that. And I think we give the award for the worst job in the world of whoever the guy was that was cleaning that concert hall. And I don't know what it is. I think it's just the uncomfortable nature of it, the panic that's on your face, the thought process of what do I do? What do I do going forward? I've had my share of stomach issues. I've been very vocal about that on the show. Where it's a constant rumble, right? There's been many a morning that I've been on my way in, and you're thinking all right, I didn't go before I left the house. I know I'm going to have to go when I get, am I going to make it? You have that thought of am I going to make it in time?
Yeah.
And every time I start laughing to myself thinking, if I don't, what do I do? What is the proper protocol here? Do I come, I don't have a change of clothes. I have to turn around and go home, right? Now, we technically have a shower in our bathroom.
Yeah.
But that's not alleviating my clothes problem. So every time I laugh out loud when I'm in one of those situations, because I try and find levity of it, it's very uncomfortable. It's not a fun spot to be. But that drive-in of man, if this happens to me, I got to text Sprague and tell him what happens. I think I probably have to go home. And then do I get here at 7? Do I just go clean up and then come right back in? Show. Right? Hey, sorry guys, a little late today. I don't know. That one always makes me laugh out loud. And if you're pooping your pants in the middle of a concert,
have a plan.
Have a plan. There's bathrooms at the venue. That should not happen to you. If you're out, you're driving, there's some spots where it's dude, there's nothing you can do. It's coming and here it comes. Just, pull over to the side of the road.
Right.
In a concert, you can go to.
You should have a plan, especially if you're in the front row. You should have a plan of where's the nearest bathroom in case this happens.
It doesn't come on that strongly. There's usually a build there where there's some warning. You got to pay attention to your warning signs, people, okay? Pay attention to your indicators in case you need to go. I apologize for ending the show on that note, but I just couldn't pass that one up. That's been in my notes for 2 weeks. Somebody pooped their pants at a Noah Kahan concert.
That's crazy.
That one makes me laugh out loud. Okay, quickly as we look ahead to the weekend, I will not be here on Monday. I cannot wait. United States-Belgium is going to be awesome. The atmosphere is going to be great. Elsewhere in the World Cup, we have 3 more games today. So you got Spain and Austria. That one is a noon start. Then it goes Portugal, Croatia. I think at 4 o'clock, if I'm not wrong. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then 8 p.m. tonight, you get Switzerland versus Algeria. The games are in Inglewood, so down at SoFi for Spain, Austria. Then they go to Toronto for the Portugal-Croatia game, and then in Vancouver, Canada for Switzerland versus Algeria. It also continues on tomorrow. I will say, like, the Cape Verde story is kind of fun. They're taking on Argentina tomorrow, so that will be a fun one. Colombia, Ghana, maybe that's something later on in the day.
Colombia's supposed to be a dark horse.
Yeah. The one that I think I'm most excited for is the Sunday night game. Hold on, let me. I think it's Sunday night. Is it Sunday night?
Sunday morning.
So Sunday morning.
Saturday.
Well, you get Saturday morning. You have three more. So there's two more: Canada, Morocco, and then Paraguay and France.
Yeah,
France seems to be steamrolling their way through. They're a massive favorite in that game, so we'll see. The other one that's high on my bingo card though is Mexico playing England
Sunday night. Yep.
in Mexico City.
Woof.
Dude, 3 people. They won that game. Was that 2 nights ago? 3 people. It might be more than that, but there was like 3 dead people. Like that's how much they partied and celebrated. They're taking on England. In Mexico City, that atmosphere is going to be like Monday night or Monday evening in Seattle will be awesome. 5:00 start, United States, Belgium.
You want to talk about a tough place to play,
dude? Mexico City, Harry Kane going down,
England coming into Mexico
right,
against a team that's won 4 straight.
You also get Brazil, Norway on Sunday too. So Sunday is going to be a nice little day.
Yeah.
But make sure you're around the TV. That Mexico England game, I'm watching that one in Telemundo. That one is going to be all.
That's going to also get ratings. That will get
huge.
That will get a huge viewership for sure.
Let's enjoy it one more time. We did have people, by the way, poking holes in country roads earlier. Maybe for some it's overused at this point. I guess I understand that. I also would contend with what other songs can people sing along to at that level? I think it sounds good at the end of the game. And it's hard to find one that everyone knows the words to. Like, I don't want to do Sweet Caroline.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
I think the debate's over. If your head coach is belting that song,
on the field, and
he's like good with it, I think that's the song. I don't think we're changing that anytime soon. I think we're set on that song.
There's the Freebird stuff for the hockey team was a lot of fun, but there wasn't singing. Like, you can't really sing along to Freebird. There's like a 4-minute guitar solo in there. I love Freebird. But here is how it sounded on Telemundo, and I've decided every game I watch the rest of the way will be on Telemundo.
La carrera de Tillman. Ahí va Tillman. ¡Gol!
Slowly dying.
It slowly fades out.
Half of it, like, I will not stop. Power
through. ¡Estados Unidos! ¡Lo hizo Malik Tillman!
I got the fever, man. Keep delivering, World Cup. It's going to be so much fun over the weekend. The games continue today. USA plays on Monday night. And that will do it for us, everybody. That's it, man. We're done. Brandon, I'm not going to see you because I won't be here on Monday. So tip of the cap to you on all your early morning wake-ups. You've become pseudo-swag all summer with his health issues in the family and now long vacation.
Happy to help out, man.
God bless your sleep schedule getting a little bit better. I'm excited for
slightly, until 7 a.m. when my son barges through my bedroom door asking for a show.
I was complaining about not sleeping in earlier, and somebody texted in and was like, sleeping in, it's lazy, get stuff done. I'm like, dude, do you know what sleeping is for me?
Right.
What do you think I'm talking about, like 11 o'clock? What do you think I'm talking about here?
Those days are gone.
6:15, I'm like, dude, whole new person. This is great. You get me to 6:30? Are you kidding me? Yeah, we'll see. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Enjoy the fireworks, the hot dogs, the soccer, the footy ball, the baseball, all of it. It's going to be a fun little weekend. Happy birthday, America. We love you. We will talk to you. These guys will be back on Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday. And have a great 4th of July, everybody. The Firm, Harrison Meringue, is next. You're listening. 105.1 FM, The Fan.